Dry eye workup is done on this machine. Here are various tests which make us understand what is the thickness of the tear film, what is the quality of tear.
I request everyone to keep their mobile phones on silent. We'll be starting the session shortly, so gentle request to keep your mobile phones on silent. Thank you. Hello. A very good morning to one and all. I, Zuili Ballar, the Associate Editor of Thane Vaibhav and your host for the day, warmly welcome you to Vavikar Eye Institute presents Drushti 2025. At the outset, let me thank each one of you for your enthusiastic and overwhelming participation in Drushti 2025, because it gives me immense pleasure to share that over the next 2 days, we'll be having more than 650 students across 30 different schools and colleges coming to Vavikar Eye Institute, and they'll be soaking completely in the fountain of knowledge and wisdom through this intellectual extravaganza. So Vavikar Eye Institute and Thane Vaibhav, they have come together for Drushti 2025, and the objective of this initiative is that we want to clear the drushti today for a better future of all our dear students for tomorrow. And if I have to sum up this objective with the help of a Hindi verse, I would just say, नज़र को बदलो तो नज़ारे बदल जाते हैं. नज़र को बदलो तो नज़ारे बदल जाते हैं. सोच को बदलो तो सितारे बदल जाते हैं. सोच को बदलो तो सितारे बदल जाते हैं. कश्तियाँ बदलने की ज़रूरत नहीं, कश्तियाँ बदलने की ज़रूरत नहीं. दिशा को बदलो तो किनारे खुद ब खुद बदल जाते हैं. So like last year when Vavikar Eye Institute and Thane Vaibhav, they came together for Thane Vision 2030, we had an overwhelming response from more than 100 schools, and the objective of that Thane Vision 2030 was that we wanted the students to showcase their vision of Thane in 2030. So we requested the students to come up with project models, to come up with drawings, and we received a response of more than 100 project models, 2,500 drawings, and we all displayed that in Bal Thakre Smarak, and who's who from Thane had come to visit it. So taking a leaf out of that chapter from Thane Vision 2030, Vaibhav Eye Institute has again come here in the form of Drushti 2025, and we'll be writing another golden chapter in this book by Vaibhav Eye Institute and Thane Vaibhav, which is involved in the all-round development of students. So with no further ado, I would like to set the ball rolling for Drushti 2025. I kindly request our guest speakers for today, Dr. Deepa Bhazekar, Mr. Bharat Dabolkar, Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni, and Dr. Prasad Pradhan, alongside Dr. Chandrasekhar Vavikar, Dr. Vaishali Vavikar, Mr. Milind Ballal, and Mrs. Meera Korde to kindly come near the dais, and we would be starting Drushti 2025 by lighting the lamp. A big round of applause for our guest speakers for today and for the dignitaries. They'll be lighting the lamp, and we'll set the tone for Drushti 2025. So we have Dr. Deepa Bhazekar lighting the lamp. Mr. Bharat Dabolkar. A towering personality in the form of Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni. And Dr. Prasad Pradhan. It is also our honor to have Mrs. Meera Korde. She was my principal in SVPT Rabodi. It's always a pleasure to have her. Thank you. A big thank you, and I request all the dignitaries to be seated. So talk to you more about Drushti 2025, I would now request Dr. Chandrasekhar Vavikar, the Medical Director of Vaibhav Eye Institute, to share his thoughts and wisdom with us.
Good morning, everyone. Our chief guest today, Mr. Bharat Dabolkar sir, Mrs. Deepa Bhazekar madam, our guest of honor, Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni, my dear friend Prasad Pradhan, our own Korde madam, Milind Ballal sir, and dear students and parents. First of all, we at Vaibhav Eye Institute and Thane Vaibhav truly appreciate the kind of overwhelming response we have got for this. At our institute, we believe in simple ethos: clarity of vision leads to clarity of life. This program is an extension of that. But none of this would have been possible without the enthusiasm and support of all the speakers and the schools and teachers. When I was talking to Dabolkar sir along with Prasad, he said that once we are there, you don't worry about the time. Similarly, all the dignitaries, the way they have been asking questions, may it be Vittal Kamath sir or Abhayokar sir, our Supreme Court judge, retired judge, former judge, we know that we have struck right chords and our thoughts are gone well beyond these walls. So what is the concept? Ato kalvayu kamamaya एवायम पुरुष इति स यथा कामो भवति तत् कर्तु भवति यत् कर्तु भवति तत्कर्म कुरुते यत् कर्म कुरुते तदपि संपद्यते। अर्थात यह मनुष्य भावनामय है। जैसी कामना करता है वैसे विचार आने लगते हैं, जैसे विचार उठते हैं वैसा निश्चय करता है, जैसा निश्चय करता है वैसे काम होने लगता है और वैसे ही फल पाता है। अर्थात यू आर what your deep driving desire is, and as your desire is, so is your will, and so is your deed, and so is your destiny. This idea has guided me always personally, and it also forms one of the core values of Vaibhav Institute, to help people have better vision. Better vision meaning they can see better and they can have better insights for the future. So to get this desire burning and to ignite the young minds, we had a program, Thane Vision 2030, which Julie alluded to. And when we did that program, we felt confident that we are doing something worthwhile to connect with the community, and we are engaging the young minds quite well. Extending that, today we are having Drushti. What is your vision? Choosing a career has not become, so simple today. It has become a complex task. On one side, there are rare gems who understand their calling very, very early, and they only need to be nurtured, groomed properly. And on the other side, there are weather-beaten paths like IIT to USA and doctors to practice. But there are enormous number of choices, and most of the students, they don't get their calling very early. In fact, Swami Prabhupada got his calling at the age of 69. Okay, so then what to do? How to solve this problem? When I was eye surgeon, I became an eye surgeon. Actually, I aspired to be a civil engineer, then a VGTS student, then a neurologist, and then an eye surgeon. So I don't know whether it was an accident that I became an eye surgeon or it was providence. But throughout the path, I always felt that there is a need for a guiding star, somebody who can explain me what are the intricacies of a particular profession. Professional success also involves some of the skill sets which are outside the curriculum. That is leadership, commitment, emotional intelligence. And we need the children to be exposed to these things very early in their life. Not when you are in a profession and you get a crisis. Talking about commitment, when Sachin Tendulkar retired from Test cricket, I was there at Wankhede Stadium because he's like God for me. So what happened is that in the morning he was doing all his stretches and catch practice. He had nothing to prove. He was going to retire. He was not worried about injury causing any harm. But the level of commitment was too much. So it was a lifelong lesson for me that whether it is your last day or first day, whether it is the last patient or the first patient of the day, the commitment should be 100%. So students must be exposed to these virtues, these kind of professions, intricacies very early. Then how about students and parents taking a pause, doing some brainstorming, soul searching to understand what he or she understands the best? And can we make that journey a bit easier by exposing them to highly successful and talented professionals? Their experience will be authentic because they will be first hand and they would have gone through it, and it will really make a lot of difference to them if they hear it like from the horse's mouth. So students will understand not only glamour but the intricacies, hardships, discipline and the values behind each profession. With these objectives we designed Drishti, what is your vision? The idea may be mine, okay? In fact, I have an idea for the next year also. okay, what to do for these kids. But the idea may be mine, but it would not have been possible to get it to fruition if Nikhil Ballar, Dr. Vaishali Vavikar, and my dear friend Prasad Pradhan would not have helped me immensely. So thank you for that. So dear students, this is a sincere attempt to plant the first seeds of thoughts in your minds. Today and tomorrow we have a galaxy of celebrity speakers. Open up, ask questions, okay? Try to understand how they think, how they are different, and make best use of this opportunity. Without much further ado, let's begin. Welcome everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vavikar. And I think the example of Sachin Tendulkar, I think it will stay fresh in all our minds for the years to come. Next up, I would like to invite Mr. Milind Ballar, the editor of Thane Vaibhav, to express his thoughts.
Well, good morning, friends, and welcome all the dignitaries. Today is a very special day for both the Vavikar Eye Institute as well as Thane Vaibhav. Before I actually speak about what the program is all about, and Dr. Vavikar has already given you a rough idea of what is going to happen for the next 2 days. But let me tell you that Thane Vaibhav is the first newspaper of this Thane district which is completing 50 years last year. So for us, all these moments are golden moments and we want to cherish them for posterity. And that is the reason why Dr. Vavikar and Thane Vaibhav have joined hands for this, I would say, a very innovative kind of project which is going to shape the future of Thane as well as the future of the country. Since Mr. Bharat Dabolkar is in front of me, I am tempted to use the Shakespearean famous line that the world is a stage. As you like it is a drama, and I think in that there's a monologue where this sentence comes, that the world is a stage. And when we say the world is a stage, definitely we are all characters playing different roles in this drama. Now basically the thing is that although we are going to guide you for the next 2 days, all you children are really gifted. In fact, you also have a script in your hand which was made by the God. Somewhere down the line, I think we have missed out the script. So these eminent speakers are going to help you in finding where you actually lost the direction. So the script is with you, the gift is with you. The only thing here that we are going to help you out is that these eminent speakers, with their vast experience, knowledge, are going to polish you, guide you. Like a sandpaper, you know that when a furniture has to be polished, it has to be rubbed with a sandpaper. So that activity we are going to do for the next 2 days. Now Thane Vaibhav, as a newspaper, we always say that, and most of these people will agree, that we are a newspaper and newspapers are treated as mirrors of the society. So we also reflect whatever that is happening in the society is reflected in the mirrors. And we see those things in the mirror. And what does Vavikar Eye Institute do? I think it also helps you to see. So this is a common thread. We are seeing the current situation. He is seeing it from a medical ground. But we are more interested in seeing the world according to what is going to happen in the next years to come. So a mirror may be a straight mirror on the wall, which is normally there in every house, but there is also a mirror which also has 2 more directions, 2 more sides. wherein you can see yourself from this side, that side, as well as from the front side. So Drushti is that kind of mirror. It's a three-dimensional mirror. You can see yourself from various sides, and these dimensions are going to be showed to you by the eminent speakers. That your personality has various facets, various dimensions, which will be reflected in the mirror. And that is the reason why a newspaper, along with a leading eye institute, comes together for this event. I won't take much of your time, but definitely I'm rather tempted to use another Shakespearean very popular phrase, what's in the name? I think most of the people may have heard about it, what's in the name? नावात काय असं पण म्हणतो ना बरेचदा तोच विषय. There is definitely a lot in the name. See, for example, as the lamp was being lightened, you know who lightened it? A food technologist, a food scientist, Deepa Bhajekar. So she is going to give you food for thought. Do you agree? If you say yes, then we will go ahead with the other names. She is going to give you food for thought. Then there's माझा लाडका ऑफ स्पिनर Nilesh Kulkarni, who once upon a time, he is senior to Sachin Tendulkar, by the way. So he is going to spin the web of knowledge around you with his vast experience. And unless and until you don't pray to the God, you don't get the prasad. So here's Prasad Pradhan also, is also going to be speaking to you. And last but not the least, what is Mr. Modi going to always saying, or what we have been saying all these years? Mera Bharat Mahan. So we have Bharat Dabholkar also here. So all are we are going on a journey for 2 days to make the country Mahan, Atmanirbhar. So these are the things which Drushti is going to deliver in the next 2 days, and I wish all the children all the best, make maximum of the use. See, today you are representing your school. Maybe not the entire school is being accommodated here, but the select few sent by the schools are coming here. More than, I think, 700 children are going to be here for the next 2 days. The entire recording is going to be done, which will be sent to the schools, which can be shown in the schools, and these speakers can be heard at your school level also. But when you go back to the school, please carry the message that this was a wonderful experience, and share the knowledge with your friends also, with your relatives, with your parents. And I think that is the purpose of Drushti, which will definitely help you to come up as a complete man, woman, and an ideal citizen of this great country. So wishing you all the best and make maximum use of Drushti. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Milind Ballal. And I hope all the 4 guest speakers, they would have enjoyed what you just played with the names of each of them. So moving forward now, it is time to invite our first guest speaker for today. It is none other than Dr. Deepa Bhajekar. To be honest with you, each of these 4 guest speakers, they do not need an introduction. But it is a protocol of the program that I will have to introduce each of them, and it is indeed my honor to introduce each of the guest speakers. So Dr. Deepa Bhajekar is an award-winning entrepreneur and a food scientist. But most of all, she completed her PhD at the age of just 24. So Dr. Deepa Bhajekar is the youngest to complete PhD in Mumbai University when she did so at the age of 24. So interestingly, in one of the interviews that I was listening while preparing for this introduction script, she said that I completed my thesis at the age of 23, but it seems the interviewer, the person who was supposed to take her Viva, took 1 long year to read her thesis, and that is why Dr. Deepa Bhajekar received her PhD a year later at the age of 24. So right from her school days, Dr. Deepa Bhajekar has been a bright student. She was a head girl. She also won the award for the best outgoing student. But the love for science was always there in Dr. Deepa Bhajekar. And then she converted this love into PhD when she earned the degree from the prestigious UD City, and her PhD is in food and microbiology. Today we know UD City as ICT. She did not stop there. Dr. Deepa Bhazekar started her first enterprise in the year 2000 with a capital of just 20,000, a borrowed chair and table from her home, and a staff of 4. And I think I'll not shy away from saying that her mother-in-law was one of her first telephone operators. Her mother-in-law used to be an anesthetist back then, but then the kind of support that her mother-in-law showed towards Deepa Bhazekar was immense. So from 400 square feet office in 15 years, this office was translated into 30,000 square feet. She entered into a joint venture with a French company. She also had a staff of more than 250, and her presence was across 18 different cities in India. So if we were Deepa Bhazekar, we would be satisfied, isn't it? Isn't it, students? 30,000 square feet office, more than 250 employees, presence across 18 cities. But Deepa Bhazekar said, no, I am not yet satisfied. I want to start another enterprise. So she founded her second company called D Technology. So now this company is very different from what her previous enterprise was. The second company is more into research and innovations. And one of the popular products that I'm sure many of us would have used in our personal lives is that of Puri Fry. I think she'll talk more about that during her discussion. I'll leave the floor open to her. So this company was more into research and innovation. And based on the years of experience that she had in her business, she won many accolades. I'll just name a couple of them. She won the Women Entrepreneurship Award at the hands of the then Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Prithviraj Chavan. And she also received the First Generation Entrepreneur Award from her alma mater, ICT. So Dr. Deepa Bhazekar, she comes from a family of achievers. Her father used to be a PhD, and her mother, interestingly, she started as a homemaker, but at the age of 60, when stand-up comedy was not at all in fashion, Dr. Deepa Bhazekar's mother went on to become a stand-up comedian at the age of 60. So that tells you what kind of genes does our first guest speaker today have, Dr. Deepa Bhazekar. And last but not least, I think this quote would bring an instant grin on the face of our guest speaker. You are not able to see her. I can see her. Probably on the screens you can see Dr. Deepa Bhazekar's reaction. She lives by the philosophy of Robert Frost, a popular American author. And why I say that? Because this quote is present on the work desk of Dr. Deepa Bhazekar. And the quote goes, "Two roads diverged in a wood. Two roads diverged in a wood." And Dr. Deepa Bhazekar says, "I took the one less traveled by." And that is what made all the difference. So on that note, let me welcome our first guest speaker for today, Dr. Deepa Bhazekar.
Good morning, everybody. What a wonderful research. I have to compliment you. I mean, I don't know, you've done something really thorough. I'd like to thank Dr. Vaibhav and everyone from Thane, Vaibhav, for inviting me here to speak this morning. It's really awesome to have a Saturday morning speaking to bright young people with really bright futures. Can I be heard at the back? Bright young kids with bright futures. You obviously have an opportunity to go to some of the best schools because you're here today for Drushti 2025. So your schools have thought it right that you come here. All of us on the panel today will be sharing our experiences, some learnings, and some things that for each one of you should at least have one takeaway. Because you have a whole future ahead of you, you know. So when we were young, really speaking, there were only two professions that people chose. It was either engineering or it was medical. Everyone thought that those who got less marks went into arts or commerce. But it's not really the case today because you have the world's information at your fingertips. Any person you want to Google, any career you want to choose, all of them, all that information is available in seconds on your phone or on your computers. We didn't have that in our earlier years. We followed one standard path that everybody did. I want you all to believe that please knock off the peer pressure that I see in a lot of students today. Because what worked for your friends is not necessarily something that will work for you. Does one shoe fit all? Answer me. Does one shoe fit all? Well, neither does one career. So my first and foremost request to all of you is to identify the strength within you. And I want to begin this with a little story. When I passed my 12th, just like all of you, I was fed up of studying and books. I thought I don't want to see a single other book and study in my lifetime. So I went up to my parents and I told them, I want to study carpentry. I want to be a carpenter. I don't want to open a single other book in my life. And like every mother, she was aghast. What? My daughter is going to be a sutar. What is this profession? And my father was very silent, not a single response. After 3 days, he came up to me and said, if you have decided to do carpentry, then I want my daughter to go to the best carpentry institute in the world. And why do I tell this story? Not because I wanted to be a carpenter or I chose that as a profession, but my father allowed me to voice the silliest of ideas and never scoffed at it and laughed at it. And this builds confidence and conviction and self-belief. So for those of you who are parents in this audience, my request to you is please allow your children to think, allow them to make their own choices, allow them to develop their clarity of thought, because at the end of the day, no matter what career you choose, it's going to be self-belief and conviction that's going to take you to the top. That's my first, and I think, requirement that all of you must have. Just believe in your own idea. And I'll tell you my own story why this is important. When I finished my doctorate, I wanted to start my food testing lab. So I visited 10 stalwarts in the food industry, some of them my seniors from college, and some of them who were friends. Every one of them told me a food testing laboratory will not work as a profession. All 10 of them. Why? Because food was not a regulated business at that time. There was no mandate to do food quality. So the first question everybody asked me, and even stalwarts in the food industry, who is going to come to you to test food? Please do pharma, because pharma is a regulated industry. Food is not. All 10 of them said no. I still came back and started my food testing lab at 20,000 rupees. And I've not tested one single pharma sample in my life. And we became #1 in the country, doing almost 1,000 analysis. We worked 24/7, 365 days of the year. The lab never shut. So I think the self-belief and conviction that was built because of my father over a period of time helped me to make the right choices and belief. So allow your children to please flower and bloom and make selection of what they think they should study. My second story for you is that of talent and excellence. Because irrespective of what careers you all choose, whether you work for a company, whether you rise in a managerial cadre, you do research, or you run your own business, you run your own companies, the few things that you need to believe, the #1 takeaway for success, I think, is excellence. Nothing beats excellence, ever. If you have that in you, no matter which career you choose and no matter what you decide, you'll still reach the top. Because I believe that if you choose a career that you love, then every single day you're going to wait for sunrise to get back to it. And that's my life. I wait for sunrise even today after 30 years to go back to doing what I love the most. I want to tell you a story, a very simple story of a Gavandi, a mason who builds kitchens and platforms in our houses. When I made my first house, I had a fantastic mason who came to build my kitchens with Italian kitchen and marble and things like that. While he was working in my house for 1 month, the first day I saw he drove in a Bolero. I said, wow, not bad, huh? Mason drives a Bolero. I was very impressed. The third day I saw him in a Hyundai Accent. And the fourth day I saw him in an Esteem. I was just curious, like all of us, we can't understand certain things. So I asked that Gavandi, are these all cars yours? I mean, it's a very horrible question to ask. He said, yes, madam. I employ 400 people and I have a bungalow in Borivali. And this was a mason and a Gavandi. And why do I tell you this story? Because here what happened next. I was shocked. I said, Acha, 400 people. He said, ho. I said, and he told me, I'm only 4th pass. I've studied only till standard 4. And I started my business when I was 17 years old. And today I'm one of the best masons in the country. And then we had a discussion, a PhD doctorate businesswoman with a 4th standard pass Mason businessman, about how the second generation does not value our inputs into building businesses. And I tell you this story because remember, an education is only a guide for you to plan your path and take direction. If there is intelligence and if there is excellence, you're never going to miss your success. It eludes nobody. So I am of the firm belief that if you want something really badly in life, you very often get it. And the story of the Mason has stayed with me. It's almost 25 years since I left that house, but not one handle of that kitchen came off, and not one sink leaked, and not one platform was incorrect. Perfection. And I never forgot that story. And to date, it keeps your feet on the ground, you know. So this is one of the very critical things. And the other thing was, when I was age 4, my parents told me I had an opinion and a decision. They could take me to every shoe store and I still didn't like a shoe, I still didn't buy it. So I knew very, very young that I wasn't going to say yes, sir, to anybody as I grew up. So it doesn't matter how much, it didn't matter how well I succeeded or I didn't. I still wanted to be my own boss. And as I said before, I come from a family of academicians where we were taught that money is actually evil. And it is not something you should chase. So we were not taught to run a business. We were not taught to be commercially smart. It's not a good or bad thing. We didn't grow up with that thought process. But over a period of time, if you recognize the strengths and weaknesses that you have within you, I think you'll find your calling, you know. That's the foremost thing I advise all of you students to do. Just cut out the noise outside, because 20 people or 100 people will give you different types of advice. What is important is to listen to the voice within. What is it that you want? What is it that is going to drive you for the next 30 years to chase something that you love to do? So, very, very important to find your calling. The second aspect that you need to know is, if all the world's a stage, he just quoted that all the world's a stage. My father always said that, do you belong on the stage or do you belong in the audience? You need to know your place. No, nothing is right and wrong. But as long as you know where you're comfortable, you'll not be unhappy with the choices that you make. And irrespective of which careers you choose, today talent and excellence are beating everything. So like a resume can get you into the door for an organization to get a good job. But thereafter, it's your own hard work, success. And how do you beat others? Where is your key USP in doing better than everyone else? So a few characteristics I would say you require for all the children here. Nothing beats fantastic knowledge, huh? Because there are so many graduates in every line, every career that come out every year. So how are you going to be different? How are you going to put yourself ahead of the others? So you have to have some USP that is linked to interest, that is linked to dedication, that is linked to sincerity. So few characteristics that decide whether you will be successful or not. And I do speak at a lot of colleges, institutes, outgoing students, is to know whether you would like to do a career where you love to travel, what is your outgoing nature, whether you would like to sit on a table and do research, or would you like to socialize. All of these factors decide the first career choice that you make. Some people can identify personalities that you find impressive and you can follow their education path or their choices and figure out where you are or where you want to be. But the characteristics that lead to success, in my opinion, are courage, risk-taking, self-confidence, clarity of thought, zero confusion in the head, and the ability to cut the noise and ask yourself what you want to do. So these are a few takeaways. So my life began with 20,000 rupees in my pocket, and whoever's done the research has done a very good job. Against all odds, I set up a company when my son was in standard 4 and both my in-laws had retired. And believe me, my mother-in-law was my first telephone operator. She was right. And she took all my calls. And until you have that support, I don't know which interview you've heard, but I've said one thing, that viskatleल्या घरातून successful स्त्री business करू शकत नाही. So remember, for all of you women out there, we have 3 shifts, you know. One is at home, where you have to look after your home. The second is work or business. And the third is children, because you do have to come home and sharpen those pencils and finish their school projects with them. So if you want to have a career as a woman, what my mother-in-law told me is, "Bahar jaun kar, you're never going to be a man, right? So just go out there and beat that path." So all of you must remember that as women, we can't come home and complain. And to all the boys out here, please recognize the strengths in the women you meet in your lives and allow them to flower. And in most of the interviews, I get asked, you know, did you face difficulties because you were a woman when you ran a business? Because I did foray into a world of men. I was the only single food testing laboratory in the country. And when I set off, everybody, as I said, told me it's not going to work, and it was tough because why hadn't anybody done it before? We were the only indigenous lab. I don't know why people didn't do it before. And I'm going to end up with one more story that would have deterred my path, and I didn't allow it to because I could cut the noise. 3 days before I started my company, a cousin had come to visit and asked me to do SWOT analysis. Now, for a girl who's finished her PhD and is out to set out something, I didn't know the full form of SWOT then, you know. Strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And my cousin, who was teaching in an MBA institute at the time, told me, "Banda kar business, don't start it day after tomorrow until you're finished with SWOT analysis and you know what your competitors are doing and what they are not doing. Do not venture into business." And I tell you, that was the stupidest advice I could have got at that day, because I had only 20,000 rupees in my pocket and one table and chair. Even if I knew what they were doing and what was SWOT, what was I going to do? I didn't have any infrastructure. But on that day, I was so frightened that night that I didn't sleep the entire night. I still went on the third day and set up my business. And trust me, I have never looked back in 15 years that I ran that company. We were debt-free for all 15 years. And in the 9th year, we were about 32 people, and the world's number 1, world's number 2, and world's number 3 food testing lab approached us to foray into India. Why I tell you excellence always works. I didn't chase them. I didn't even know there was something that a foreign company could come into India. We come from academic families with no business upbringing. All 3 of them approached me, and then I flew to France, first time frightened, out of the country alone. Otherwise, it's only family holidays that you go out to. Tied up with the world's number 1 food testing lab. And the growth and business mindset that happened in those 6 years, a vision that completely changed. And eventually I did a course at Harvard Business School for a year after having finished my first business to learn how to do my second business much better than I had. Because sometimes you don't have the vision, you have the caliber, but you don't know the spectrum that you can achieve, you know. The horizon is different. So here I am today in my second company, and I'm now budding entrepreneurs and building companies where I can allow bright entrepreneurs to actually come up and run their own businesses. And I also fund some enterprises today. So I don't know what time I have, but with these few words, I would like to say thank you very much for inviting me here. Remember to sit with yourself for at least 5 minutes every year at the end of that academic year and ask yourself, have I changed? What is my next dream? Has my dream changed? The minute you have clarity on what your dream is, you will not miss that goal. Bye-bye, and thank you so much. God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Deepa Bhazekar. It was indeed a pleasure listening to these words of wisdom from Dr. Deepa Bhazekar. So we are done with the first guest speaker here. I know it is just 10:45 in the morning. Some of you have come after school. Some of you are expected to go to the school after this. But just a small quiz, friends. Are you ready for a small quiz? Yes, no? Yes, I can't hear you. That's better. So this quiz is going to be simple. Just a few moments back, we heard from Dr. Deepa Bhazekar, her talks, her words about her journey so far. So just a few questions, and feel free to answer them. You can raise your hand and we can have some answers from you. So any three takeaways that you had from Dr. Deepa Bhazekar's session? Any 3 takeaways? Anybody? From the outside area also, if we can have students raising their hands, they can come inside. Any 3 takeaways that we had from Dr. Deepa Bhazekar's session? Yeah. Can the student please come in? Meanwhile, from the auditorium also, we would want students to participate. So the next question, be prepared. In which year did Dr. Deepa Bhazekar start her first business? In which year did Dr. Deepa Bhazekar start her first business? So that is the second question. Yes, go for it. Your name and your school first.
My name is Nishika Ranjit Pingle. I am from Amber International School, and I take away that the leap to success is very small, but we have to start with it.
Excellent.
Like whatever we have.
Two more, please.
Like we don't have to be scared of anything. We just have to start.
Excellent. Thank you. A big round of applause for her. So my second question. Any answers? In which year did Dr. Deepa Bhazekar start her first business? Nobody? Yes, please. You had answer? I'll give you a hint. It is somewhere in 2000s. Anybody? All right then. So the answer is 2000. All right then, students, one last chance for redemption. We want to redeem ourselves, don't we? Yes? There are some exciting prizes also for you if you answer. The guest speakers, they have brought in some gifts for you, and they are listening to all the answers that you will be giving us. So Dr. Deepa Bhazekar, she completed her PhD at what age? So many hands are coming up. Fastest finger first, come on. Yes, go for it. 24, that's right. Last question now. She has a PhD in which subject? You can give the broad subject. Yes, go for it. You're almost there. I'll give it to you. It's food and microbiology. All right then. Thank you. Thank you, students. So this was an exciting and enthralling session from Dr. Deepa Bhazekar. But now it is time to move on to our next guest speaker. And it is Mr. Bharat Dabholkar. So the name Bharat Dabholkar itself will ring a bell in your mind. He is a man filled with creativity in every sense. He is an ad guru. He is a theatre powerhouse. He is an actor. He is a writer. He is a director. And most of all, he is a fitness enthusiast. The moment he'll come up on the stage, you will agree to this fact that he has been a fitness enthusiast. Mr. Bharat Dabholkar has spent almost 35 years of his life in Indian advertising, and he has been the man behind creating iconic ad campaigns. And some of the brands that I have tried to list down, you will be left jaw-dropping. He has designed ad campaigns for Amul Butter, Fruity, Appy, Bailey, Good Night, State Bank of India, Bank of India, Union Trust of India, and the list goes on and on. He has also been a pioneer in Hinglish advertising. So Hinglish, that is Hindi and English advertising. So he has been one of the pioneers in starting with Hinglish advertising campaigns. But Bharat Dabholkar is much more than an ad man or an ad guru. He has been a boxer at the university level. And again, I'll remind you, the moment he steps onto the stage, you will agree with me that this man would have been a boxer in his heydays. Interestingly, he lives by a motto, clean living and no thinking. I agree to the first part, sir. Clean living, yes, I agree. No thinking, we'll find it out. And why he says clean living is because he has been a teetotaler all his life. He stays away from any kind of addictions, from alcohol, and that has what been the secret to his fitness. But interestingly, Bharat Dabholkar is a teetotaler in a personal life. He stays away from alcohol in his personal life. But do you know, one of the English plays that he has written, the title is Bottoms Up. Bottoms Up. Yes, so this man is a teetotaler in personal life, but he did not shy away from writing a play named Bottoms Up. And that was a box office because it crossed more than 300 performances. So his journey into acting has nothing short of a drama. It has been a complete dramatic affair the day he got into acting. He used to be a writer, and when he wrote one of his plays, on the day of the performance, one of the actors suffered from a cardiac arrest. One of the actors in the play which Bharat Dabholkar had written suffered from a cardiac arrest. Another co-actor went up to Bharat Dabholkar and said, "You have written all the dialogues. You know all the dialogues by heart. So why not you step in for him?" And that is when, accidentally, Bharat Dabholkar got into acting. He stepped into the footstool of the one who had suffered a cardiac arrest. He made his acting debut, and the audience simply loved the acting of Mr. Bharat Dabholkar. And one important lesson that he learned from his theatre days was, the show must go on. And that has been very important. Imagine one of the co-actors suffering from a cardiac arrest. You would have been shattered, but then Bharat Dabholkar just walks into his footsteps and does his role. Since then, Bharat Dabholkar we have seen in multiple Bollywood movies as well. He made his debut with One Two Ka Four in the year 2001. He also featured in the movie starring Bipasha Basu in Corporate. He was also seen in Tara Rampam alongside Saif Ali Khan and Rani Mukherjee, R. Rajkumar alongside Shahid Kapoor, Dabangg 3 alongside Salman Khan, and the list is again long-lasting. So hold your breath, boys and girls, and fasten your seatbelts, because we have none other than Mr. Bharat Dabholkar, a multifaceted, a multi-talented, and a truly iconic ad man, ad guru, actor, writer, director, and a fitness enthusiast. A round of applause for Mr. Bharat Dabholkar. So we have some prizes. Yeah, from Amber International School. Thank you. The second one to answer that 24. Yeah. Let's see your cricketing skills. We have a cricketer as well. No, not selected, not selected. Nilesh Kulkarni is watching the catching. All right then. Can we have Mr. Bharat Dabholkar on the stage, please?
What can I say after an introduction like this? And I wish I hadn't spoken after Dr. Bhazekar, because it's difficult to sort of continue what she's done so wonderfully. No, I'll be very honest with you. I have spent over 35 years in advertising, so we are conditioned to speak only for 30 seconds. Because we are taught from the beginning that you only have 30 seconds to create your advertising. You want to entertain, educate, whatever you want to do, 30 seconds is the time you have. So when somebody calls me here and says, speak for 20 minutes, I don't know what to say. I can speak for 30 seconds and keep repeating the same thing again and again. As I said, my lifelong ambition was to be a police officer. From the age of 4, my unwavering ambition was to join the IPS and be a police officer. And somehow I missed out doing that exam. And today I feel that I look more like a police officer than most police officers look. So, and I've had some very interesting experiences because of that. Once I was called on All India Radio for a debate on the image of police in the media. And they had called me, and they had called the then Commissioner of Police. I think Mr. Vakatkar was the name. And I had a jeep, and I went to All India Radio station in my jeep, and about 20 people came running and said, "Saab ka gaadi park karo." They parked my car. About 10 people came in the lift with me, very politely standing next to me. I had never had this kind of respect ever in my life, so I was wondering why they are treating me so well. And one of them said, "Sir, how was your book launch?" And I said, "Which book launch?" So they said, "You, Governor Sahib, released a book." I said, "No, I am Bharat Dabholkar." The moment I said I am Bharat Dabholkar, they stopped the lift where I was, left me alone in the lift and went down, because they thought I was the Commissioner of Police. So they went to receive the Commissioner of Police. So when he came up, Mr. Vakatkar, I said, "Sir, because of you, I got lots of respect today. Normally people there don't treat me so respectfully." So he said, "I never wanted to be a police officer." He said, "I am a MA in English literature. Being a police wasn't my ambition." So this is how things changed. And I became a lawyer. I'm a full-fledged lawyer. So advertising was not the career that I wanted. I got into it. The point is, all of you will face the same thing. As you go along, your interests will change as you go along. One thing, keep in mind that don't get restricted to what you thought you want to be. Whatever comes your way, do it. Don't worry how good or bad you are in this. That's one thing I've always done in my life, that whatever is offered to me, I do. I have never acted in a play in my life throughout my school or college days. I wasn't interested in theatre. When I was in advertising, somebody asked me to do a play, I did a play. Not because I could do it well, but because I said somebody is offering me to do a play, why not do it? So everything that I've done in my life, I've done because it was offered to me. I did plays because somebody came and said, do a play, I did a play, and then I wrote 35 plays, but not even interested in theatre. Then somebody came up to me and said, do you want to act in a film? I'm the world's worst actor. There's no actor worse than me. I act equally badly in 6 languages. But somebody came and said, do you want to act? The point is, do not get confined to what you think you are good at. Do whatever comes your way. You may be not so great in what you are doing, but do it anyway, because the idea in life is to be happy with what you are doing. It's not how much money you earn, it's not how successful you are. It's, are you happy? You don't have to own an expensive car. You can own a motorcycle and be happy. So being happy is more important than being successful. Always remember that. Because if you run for success, at any given time you will feel that you haven't achieved what you wanted to achieve. So be happy with whatever you have. There was a famous saying, I don't know because you people are too young, there was a famous rock group, beat group called Beatles. And one of the singers was a man called Paul McCartney. And when he was about your age, the teacher asked him, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said, I want to be happy. And the teacher said, I don't think you understand the question. And Paul McCartney said, I don't think you understand life. So the idea is, whatever you do. In fact, I was a judge at the Rajasthan Patrika Awards, and there was a whole thing about if children are not allowed to do what they are good at. And one of the examples given was, if Sachin Tendulkar, if his parents insisted that he should be a doctor, would he have been a good doctor, and would cricket have missed out a legend? So if you don't let a child do what he wants to do, chances are he won't do it well, and that particular profession will miss out a good person. But since I'm in advertising now, I can just tell you what advertising is not, rather than what advertising is, because you're too young to get into details of advertising. Advertising is not all creative. That's one question all youngsters ask me. They always say, I want to get into advertising, but I'm not creative. And that's a misconception people have about advertising. Advertising is not all creative. Creative is just one department in advertising. There's a creative man who writes those lines. There's an art director who draws those pictures. Besides that, there are lots of other disciplines in advertising. There's a client servicing, where you don't need to be creative. You need to have somebody who can go and talk to clients and convince them. There's research. There's media buying, there's media execution. So advertising has so many facets to it. You don't have to be creative to be in advertising. So it's a great business to be in, because the campaigns that you do carry on even after you've stopped being in advertising. When some 30 years ago I wrote the line for Fruity, mango fruity, fresh and juicy, that still continues. Utterly butterly continues for the last 50 years. So advertising is something that lets you continue what you wrote for years. No other profession gives you that. Everything else fades away. Films fade away, theatre fades away, but advertising continues because that campaign continues. So advertising, you don't have to be creative. You can be good in maths, you can do advertising. You can be good in research, you can do advertising. So keep that in mind, that advertising is not about being creative. Second thing is, advertising is not a 9-to-5 job. You want to work in a place where you work only for a limited hours, don't get into advertising. We work 24 hours. There are times when we sleep in the offices because there has a presentation to be made the next day. So advertising is very hard work. Don't get into advertising if you think advertising is glamorous. Advertising is not glamorous. You think you meet all the beautiful girls and good-looking men. You don't. You work in an office. The people who shoot those films and the photographers who shoot those models get to meet them. We don't get to meet them. Very rarely do you meet a good-looking guy or a good-looking girl. So don't think of advertising as a glamorous profession. It's very hard work. The one thing that you need to get into advertising is you cannot be oversensitive, because advertising is one job where you face rejection on a daily basis. You create a campaign with complete devotion You work on it for days, you spend lakhs of rupees on creating that campaign, and the client rejects it. And you can't look sad. Next day you have to go back again with a smiling face and again present the same thing. And it will keep on no matter what stage you are at. When I was a trainee in advertising, I faced the same thing. When I was a managing director of an agency, I faced the same thing. That rejection was a daily thing. So if you can't take it, don't get into it. You can get into a safer job. I had a there were two people I had employed. One was a guy called Kunal Vijayakar, who then went on to become the foodie and is doing very well. And the other guy was a man called Sahil Surti. They were both classmates. Sahil was a better advertising guy than Kunal was. He had better ideas. But he didn't have the heart. He would go to a client, present a campaign, and if they rejected that idea, he would get depressed for days. He couldn't work on that campaign again. He would say, "Nahi yaar, I think of a good idea, they don't approve it." After about 8 months, he quit advertising it because he couldn't take the rejection. So all of you, if you want to get into advertising, you don't have to be creative, but you have to have a rhino skin. You should always have a smile on your face, no matter how many times your ideas are rejected. So keep that in mind. That's the second thing. And the third thing that is always asked to me is, a lot of people come and say, but we don't know English well enough. And keep in mind, in communication, language is not important. I come from a Marathi medium school. I couldn't speak English till I came to college. All my subjects were in Marathi. I got into advertising where it was dominated by English-speaking people. All campaigns were done in English first. So even if you don't know English, it doesn't matter. You can speak in whatever language you speak in, Marathi, Gujarati, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu. That can be the language of communication, then it can get translated. We did advertising for LIC, a Bank of India. We had to do advertising in 14 languages. The original language, when I had started doing it, was never English. We said, we'll do it in Marathi, we'll do it in English, we'll do it in Hindi. So the original language was whatever we wanted, and then we got that translated. So even if you don't know English, advertising is still something that you can do well in. So keep that in mind, that do not worry about what language you know. The third thing is, your WhatsApp and your social media is not going to tell you what is happening in the world. Most people now, I find that they get all their information from either reading their WhatsApp forwards or Facebook or Instagram forwards. In advertising, unless you keep your eyes and ears open to what's happening around you, you'll never succeed. That's one thing that you must have, is that you must know the people that you're talking to, what they're thinking about. That's why advertising is the most difficult of all the communication professions. Theatre is easy. If I'm doing a play, I know who my audience is. I have an English theatre, so I know my English theatre audience. Prashant Damble knows what a Marathi audience likes. Somebody else in Gujarati knows what a Gujarati audience likes. So it's very easy. If I do a play, tomorrow if that doesn't work, I can change the play. For the next show, I can change those dialogues. If I do a film, I know what the audience, the fans of that actor like. A Salman Khan has to take off his shirt at the end of a film. So people know that if it's a Salman Khan film, audiences want him to see taking off a shirt. It's very easy. In advertising, we're talking to people we don't know. So you have to keep your eyes and ears open. Try and find out as much as you can about the people you're talking to. What we call it a target group in advertising, that you must know who you're talking to. And I'll give you an interesting example. During the lockdown, Srirang Godbole, he called me up and said, I want to do a web talk on how people will behave once the lockdown is over. How will consumers go and buy things? So I said, okay, we'll talk about that. I said, let's compare that to cricket. I said, how will the batsman play after the lockdown is over? And he said, what do you mean batsman? Which batsman? Virat Kohli? Who are you talking about? Dhoni? I said, that's the same thing. When you say consumer, how will the consumer behave? Which consumer? In India, a consumer in Maharashtra, consumer in Bihar, consumer in Kerala, consumer in Tamil Nadu. So he said, let's say consumer in Maharashtra. I said, okay, consumer in Mumbai, Sangli, Kolhapur, Ahmednagar, which consumer? He said, okay, let's think of a consumer in Mumbai. I said, male or female? Because they'll all react differently. They said, okay, male consumer. I said, age 18 to 25, 26 to 35, 36 to 41, or 41 to 50. He said, okay, let's cut all that. Let's say a person who earns 50,000 rupees a month. I said, a new management graduate who's just got into a job after his passing out in a bank and earns 50,000 rupees and stays at Pedder Road, or a mill worker who's been working for the last 40 years, lives at Lalbagh and earns 50,000 rupees a month. So I said to you, unless you are alive to what is happening around you, you cannot decide who you are talking to. And that's what makes advertising so interesting. So if you want to, any one of you wants to get into advertising, and you should, because advertising is all about young people. Old people can't think like young people. That's what goes wrong with all of us. We think of how the youngsters must be thinking. We go completely wrong. That's not how youngsters think. So we need young people, because advertising is about innovation, doing something different all the time. When you have 20 soaps in the market, which all do the same thing, unless you can innovate and create a thought that the other soaps don't have, and for that we need youngsters like you. And today I find that less and less youngsters are getting into advertising, because there are too many layers of approval. We feel frustrated, we don't get our ideas approved. I was very lucky that I met some of the most wonderful clients in the world. I worked on Amul. I had a man called Dr. Kurian who gave us a complete free hand to work on. I worked on Parleys. I had a man called Prakash Chavan who gave us a complete free hand to work on. Today's youngsters don't get that, but don't get disheartened by that. Keep going, because unless, as Dr. Bhazekar said, unless you say that this is what I'm going to achieve, no matter how hard it is, you'll never achieve it. So keep working at it. What else can I say? That's why I shouldn't have spoken after Dr. Bhazekar. So advertising is a great business. Get into it and do whatever. As I said, I always tell everybody, youngsters or older people, do something that makes you happy. Everybody has a different skill. Do not think that if you earn money, you're going to be happy. I'll give you one more example. It's a funny example. When I got into advertising, I realized that one day I'll earn enough money to afford maybe a Mercedes car. But then I said, everybody has a Mercedes. Every second car on the road is a Mercedes car. So I said, I'll buy a rickshaw. Then I found out that even a Bajaj rickshaw costs about $1.5 lakh, and I didn't have that kind of money that time. So I went to Poisser bus depot and bought a second-hand rickshaw for 17,000 rupees. I painted that. I got a license. And I said, I'll drive a rickshaw. So I had a rickshaw license. It was a private rickshaw, so I didn't have the Mahim and Sion limitations. I could take it anywhere I wanted. I'll just give you one example how doing something different works. At the Navy Nagar in Mumbai, where all the big admirals and generals, when they're in town, they stay, they have a beautiful auditorium, and every year they have a thing called Admiral Soman Memorial Lecture. And for that, they call an outsider to speak, all these senior Army and Navy people. So once they called me one year, and they said, Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, so be on time. I said, don't worry, I'm never late. I'll be half an hour early. So they said, no, you can't do that. We have a protocol that when all the admirals and their wives and the generals and their wives, when they're having tea, we have our motorcycle riders who herald in the chief guest. So we bring him in style. So where are you coming from? I said, I'm coming from Chembur. So they said, okay, you wait near Regal Theatre, we'll send our riders there. So I went in my rickshaw. And I called up that man. And I said, sir, I'm here. He said, my 2 riders are waiting there. Which car are you in? I said, I'm in the rickshaw. He said, no, sir. I said, no, I'm really in a rickshaw. I can see your riders. So I waved at them. So I went for that very important naval function with 2 naval riders on white bikes with flags flying and me riding a rickshaw at the back. But you wouldn't believe this. After my talk got over, I had to wait for an hour and a half because every admiral, every general wanted a photograph in that rickshaw. And they were very disciplined. Defense forces are very disciplined. So they were all waiting in a queue. So the admiral would come up to me and say, may I take a photograph in your rickshaw? Then he would sit in the front, his wife would sit at the back. Then his wife would sit in the front, he would sit at the back. So I said, if I had a Rolls Royce, this wouldn't have happened. Because I had a rickshaw, I got so much importance. Then a sad thing happened. About 6 years back, the Mumbai RTO changed its rules and said that you can't have a private rickshaw anymore. So you can't drive that rickshaw. So I packed it up. I didn't know. I was missing my rickshaw. Then a year ago, Mahindra's launched an electric rickshaw. So I thought I'll go and buy that. So I went to buy that. They said, yeah, you can buy it, but it has to be a commercial rickshaw. It has to be white and yellow, black and yellow, and it has to have a meter, and you have to have billa. So I actually went to the Chembur RTO. I've got a billa for a rickshaw driver. I've got a black and yellow rickshaw, and I drive it around. So if any one of you ever see me, you can flag me. I'll charge you as per the meter. But the point is, I'm not saying it as something. And then I've written, behind trucks they have those shairis. So I have written 2 shairis behind my rickshaw. One says, like the famous dialogue from the film, one says, "Mere paas paisa hai, daulat hai, bangla hai, gaadi hai, kya tumhare paas?" The other person says, "Mere paas rickshaw hai." Then he says, "Arey, fir maa kiske paas hai?" So we have that as a slogan. So the point is not about buying a rickshaw. The point is having fun. Do not shy away from what you like doing. Do whatever comes your way. As I said, I never acted in theatre. Somebody offered me a role, I acted in a play. And it went on and became a whole lifestyle. So I never acted. I never had any ambition of acting in a film. Somebody offered me a role, small role. See, I do minor roles in film. And whatever names you said just now, those films don't work because of me or fail because of me. So I am very comfortable. I just go and maybe I have 4-5 days of work. I have done Tamil films, Telugu films, Malayalam film, even Bhojpuri films I have done. And none of them work because I am in that film. And none of them fail because I act badly. So I am very safe. So the point is, it's not having ambition to succeed. Have ambition to be happy. That's extremely important, to be happy. See, everybody has a different skill. I'll give you one story that I had once told at a Teachers' Day function. That in the town there was a king, and he wanted to find out which is the best teacher in his kingdom. So he called 3 teachers who were considered the best teachers, gave them all a small baby parrot, and said, "I want you to come back to me after a year. And whoever has been able to teach the parrot the best thing will be given the kingdom's honor." So after a year, all 3 came back. So the first one said, "I've taught my parrot to speak 4 languages in 1 year." So that parrot could speak 4 languages. The second one said, "I've taught my parrot not to just speak languages, but to dance. So if you play music, he speaks and dances to that tune." So the king was very happy. The third one came with an empty cage. And he said, "I taught my parrot how to fly better." And then he got the award because teaching somebody what he is good at and making him better is more important than teaching something that they are not really required to learn. So all of you will have some skill. Just practice on developing that skill. Don't worry about what the other person next to you learns. Because when all of you, let's say now you are in schools, you'll get into management institutes. So there will be 50 students in your class. You'll go for a job. You'll say, "I am from Bajaj, I am from IIM." All of you will be from IIM or Bajaj. So what's so special about you? So try and figure out what is the special skill that you have. Because that is what's going to take you further. You can't be like everybody else. Don't be afraid to be different. Be afraid to be the same. Always look for something that is different in you. And it comes automatically. What was different in me was I couldn't speak English. So when I got into college, when I got into advertising, I realized I can't write in English. So I didn't create it. I realized that I know a Marathi word in a sentence, I know a Hindi word, I know a Gujarati word. I don't know the English word. So I started using those words in an English sentence. Then somebody called it fashionably Hinglish and said, Bharat Davolkar is the father of English. I wasn't the father of English, it was a handicap I had. I couldn't speak both the languages. So the point is, that became my speciality. In advertising, we had English writers, we had Hindi writers, we had Marathi writers, we had Gujarati writers. We didn't have a writer who wrote this broken language. And that became a special thing. That became more popular than normal English or Hindi or Marathi writing. So all of you will have some skill. Just develop that skill. But the point is, don't be over-ambitious. Because ambitious is that you will earn, at one point you'll earn 1 lakh of rupees when you look at somebody and say, but I wish I could earn 2 lakhs, then I'll be happy. Be happy with what you have. Happiness is more important than success. I always tell that to people. Success comes. If you're happy, success always comes. If you enjoy what you're doing, you never have the blue that, oh my God, Monday morning I have to wake up and go to office, because you enjoy going to office. Do whatever you like. You may not be great at it. When I joined college, as a Marathi school student, I tried to act in a Marathi play. We had Vijaya Radhiraksha was the head of the department. So she said, okay, we were doing a play called Usna Naura. And we had to sit in Vijayabai's room. She was sitting behind her college professors have that partition. And we were rehearsing in front of her. After about 5 days, she said, who's that boy who's doing the role of Usna Naura? So they said, Bharat Dabolkar. He said, he's extremely bad, please throw him out and get somebody else. So actually I was thrown out of a Marathi play because I was a bad actor. So I said, I'll never get into theatre again, I'll get into dancing. So I started dancing. And for 2 years, I don't know if they still have Youth Festival trophy in Mumbai. We won a Youth Festival dancing trophy for 2 years in a row. We did a modern ballet and a Spanish gypsy dance, and we beat all the colleges. And I'm a pathetic dancer, I'm a pathetic everything, but the point is, I like doing everything that I did. I said, no matter how bad I am, I'll do it because I'm happy doing it. It doesn't matter other people watching me are happy or not. I like doing it, so I'll do it. So keep that in mind. Don't worry if people like it or not. You like it, you do it. And I think if you do that, you'll be very successful. I think I've finished my 30 seconds. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bharat Dabolkar. He has been an ad guru, as he said, and I think I would just like to sum up whatever he said. I think it will be the voice of all you students as well. Ye dil mange more. Isn't it? Ye dil mange more, isn't it? Because we would love to keep on listening to Mr. Bharat Dabolkar. And the funny stories that he have had. Just a small question, sir. So whenever you got a chance to buy an auto rickshaw, these days we hear many rickshaw drivers, especially in the city of Thane, saying no to us. I'm sure you must be saying yes to everyone, isn't it? Okay, he charges as per the meter, he says. So he says yes. So whenever you find Bharat Dabolkar riding an auto rickshaw, feel assured that this man is going to say yes to wherever you want to go. So again, quiz time, students. Ready? Ready? I can't hear you. Yes. We have had such a funny, entertaining session. Quiz to banta hai, isn't it? A basic one, not a general knowledge. Which has been your favorite advertisement? Any advertisement which has been a favorite advertisement or an advertising tagline that you have loved? Anybody? Yes, we have some hands coming up from there. You also want to give your answer? You can come forward. Meanwhile, the student comes from there. Please come forward. So the question is, favorite advertisement or an advertising tagline that you have loved the most? You can introduce yourself, name of your school, and give your answer.
I am from NKT. My name is Chirag Rathod. And I like the ad of gems where a person goes and there is a statue of a something and he pulls one gems and the whole statue falls, and it was a funny ad. That's why I liked it. Thank you.
Big round of applause for him. Nice one. Yeah, we have one more student. Yeah. You can introduce yourself, name of your school and the ad. You can take the mic.
So my name is Anvi Shukla, I'm from Amber International, and my favorite tagline and ad is that one Amul ad had like a ship scenery in the sky, and the Amul girl sings and she ends it with utterly butterly delicious. I just find it cute. Thank you.
Who wrote Utterly Butterly?
I don't know that.
Do you want to revisit the session that we had just a few moments ago?
Oh wait, yeah, I know that.
Who wrote Utterly Butterly?
Bharat sir. Bharat sir, sorry.
Thank you. I think you're selected. Nilesh sir, she's selected. He is also selected. Thank you. All right, we have one more girl. Yes.
So my name is Sarnya. Okay, so my name is Sarnya. I'm again from Amber International School. My favorite ad is that Amul Doodh song type. It's been my entire childhood and I still sing along to it with my friends. And my favorite tagline is Amul Doodh Pita Hai India.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right then. So friends, let us move forward to our third guest speaker. So he is none other than Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni. So in a country where cricket is a religion, cricketers are considered as gods. Seldom as common people do we get a chance to meet these gods, isn't it? But today, we feel blessed. We are truly blessed because we have amongst us one such god from Indian cricket, and he is none other than Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni. Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni has been a former India cricketer. He has played tests and one-day internationals for India. But this tall left-arm spinner, standing at 6 feet 4 inches tall, and again, just like Mr. Bharat Dabolkar, once when Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni comes onto the stage, you will see this towering personality, the left-arm spinner from India, standing at 6 feet 4 inches tall. He started his cricketing journey just like most boys and girls in India would do, from gully cricket, graduating from age group cricket, playing under 15, under 17, under 19, and then made his debut for Mumbai. Riding on his stellar domestic performances for the Mumbai state team and playing that Khadus brand of cricket that all Mumbai cricketers like us are known to play. And why I take the liberty of saying us is because it is a privilege for me to introduce somebody, my co-partner in crime, I would say, because I have been a cricketer myself. And I know what Mumbai and cricket and it means to each and every individual in Mumbai. So riding on those stellar performances at the domestic level and that Khadus brand of cricket that we Mumbai cricketers played, Nilesh Kulkarni made his debut for India in the year 1997. And he did not just make his debut. He created history. On the very first ball that he bowls in Test cricket, Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni created history. What did he do? The very first ball, yes, we have had an answer. He took a wicket. Kiska wicket liya? Somebody said wicket. All right. So he took the wicket of Sri Lanka's Marwan Atapattu on the very first ball that he bowled in his Test career, and he created history as he is till date the one and only cricketer from India to do so on his Test debut. So he played his cricket, and after hanging up his boots from playing cricket in the year 2010, Nilesh Kulkarni said कि picture तो अभी बाकी है, second innings अभी भी बाकी है. पहला inning खत्म हो गया, cricket खेल लिया. Second innings he started to go into education. He founded IISM, International Institute of Sports and Management. And let me tell you friends, IISM is Asia's first and largest sports education institute. And in this institute, you get undergraduate and postgraduate programs in sports management and sports science. And since 2010, IISM has played a pivotal role in shaping those individuals who want to make their career in the field of sports. IISM was also honored Rashtriya Khel Protsahan Puraskar at the hands of the then President of India, Shri Ramnath Kovind. So on that note, let us put our hands together for Nilesh Kulkarni and cheer him as he is ready to mark his bowling run-up once again after so many years and bowl us over with his words of wisdom.
This was just an alarm to wake you up. Good morning, everyone. This is indeed a difficult task. First it was Dr. Vavikar, then Milinji, then Dr. Deepa, then Bharatji. I know that I'm a tail-ender batter, but I didn't expect to bat like that with such distinguished addresses, then to keep you engaged and take you through what sport can offer as a career. But thank you, Dr. Vavikar and the entire team, along with Thane Vaibhav team, for making me part of this wonderful initiative. And influencing young mind is a very difficult task because they really run fast, their mind run fast. So I'll try and keep it very interesting and engaging, not as good as Bharatji or Deepaji, but I'll try my best because I also come from Marathi medium and English was not a choice language. We had to work hard to start learning English to converse with people. But one of the lessons which I learned, one of my friend as a 16.5-year-old or a 17-year-old kid went to England to play club cricket without knowing English. One of the lesson one of my friend taught me, tension मत ले, गलती कर लेकिन कोशिश कर इंग्लिश में बात करने की. Because वो जो गोरे हैं ना सामने, वो कभी हंसेंगे नहीं गलती करने के बाद. In India, we have a problem. If we make a mistake, our friends laugh at us. So we don't attempt because we fear कि यार ये तो मेरे पे हंसेगा या मेरे पे हंसेगी. तो उससे अच्छा मैं कोशिश ही नहीं करता हूँ. So get rid of that thought in your mind कि यार ये बाजू वाला लड़का या लड़की मेरे पे हंसेंगे, इसके लिए मैं कोशिश ही नहीं करता हूँ. The first step for you is to take of thinking that step, attempt कि मैं कोशिश करूँगा. The moment you think about it, you've won half the battle because the journey is long, but it's always that who went on the moon first. You know, it's a big story, right? Do you know that? You read it, right, in school? All of you? Who went on the moon first? Second? Third? Fourth? Do we remember second, third, fourth? Not, right? So if you aspire to become first, you really have to work hard. I'll start with few things which you guys will relate as an interesting piece. And I'll tell you why I'm doing this, so you will understand the importance of this part. Good morning. It is truly an honor to stand before you today, being invited as the guest of honor. It is just not a privilege, but a moment of deep joy, because whenever I am with the students, I feel the energy, hope, and promise of bright future. Today's generation is growing up in the world of extraordinary opportunities and equally extraordinary challenges. You are living in the time where knowledge is at your fingertips. Technology is evolving every day. The world is more connected than ever, and that is exactly why your role becomes so important. This is ChatGPT, by the way. You know why I read this? Because I want you guys to get rid of ChatGPT. Create your own thing. Be more creative. Be more analytical. Do not depend solely on the gadgets. Be you. What Deepaji, Bharatji said, be you. What you can, what you are good at, what you can be. Aspire to be you before you copy somebody else. I'll tell you why I'm saying this. So as Dr. Vavikar was narrating about Sachin Tendulkar's last day of Test cricket, I'm witness to one more similar experience. IISM was operating at Jai Hind College then, and I made a call to Sachin. He was playing his last first-class match for Mumbai, Ranji Trophy match for Mumbai. So I said, in Marathi, I said, काय करतोयस? नाही, practice आहे वानखेडेला, he said. I said, ठीक आहे, I'm at Jai Hind, so I'll come and meet you. किती वाजता पोहोचतोय? He said, I'm reaching at 8. I said, 8 o'clock, practice is starting? No, the team call is at 9, I'm reaching at 8. I said, ठीक आहे, I'll come at 8. So I go there at 8 o'clock. He's there at 7:45. Prepares his training, goes for his training, does his own 1 hour training before the team arrives. Before the team arrives. He finishes his training, starts training with the team member also. Does his training with the team, does his practice with the team, finishes his batting, picks up a ball and starts bowling at the bowlers also in the nets. The net session is finished at 11:30. He's still waiting, does his stretching for half an hour, complete relax, and he leaves the ground at 12:30. Imagine this is his last first class match for Mumbai ever. And the reason I'm narrating this story is your planning, your preparation, and what you're good at, what people come to see you, you are never ever compromising the effort which you put in, whether it's your first match or a last match or a first patient or a last patient, as Dr. Vaibhav said. This, my friends, is commitment at its best. And this, my friends, is the reason why only Sachin Tendulkar is called God and no other cricketer deserves to be called like that. Because he genuinely gave it all as lessons to everybody. Because according to me, he's an institution all by himself. For 24 years of his career, a spotless career, and Bharatji can come up with a good tagline for it, a 24-carat gold is equal to 24 years of career of Sachin Tendulkar, spotless. For me, that is something which is a lesson for all of us to live. Because you will have many cricketers who achieve excellence, who've done far more. But what he brought on the table as a cricketer and beyond his cricketing days is a great lesson for all of us to be part of. Second part, which I would just keep it very simple with all of you, in sport, which is the biggest lesson according to you, which you guys can have a takeaway with? Can you share what sport teaches us? Yeah? Relentlessness. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah? No, say it from there. Say it from there.
Accept failure.
Accept failure. Good. Okay. Resilience. Okay. Team spirit. Okay.
It teaches us not to give up and work together as a team.
Not to give up and work together as a team. Okay. Discipline. Okay.
It teaches us determination.
Determination. Yeah. Go on, say it. Yeah, keep on saying it.
It teaches us problem-solving skills.
Problem-solving skills.
And
Okay.
it teaches us hard work.
Hard work, okay. I'm sure you can go on and on, right? Yeah, go on.
It teaches us accountability of our actions.
Accountability of an actions, okay. So I have a very simple question. We said fantastic attributes, right? Can we be a little honest with ourselves? Do we practice this in our day-to-day lives? Do we really practice this in our day-to-day lives? No? Then what's the use of actually using good Oxford English Dictionary words if we are not applying that for our betterment? So my submission to this is what cricket teaches or sport teaches is how to handle failure and what to learn. In my knowledge, there is no such book which actually talks about how to handle failure. What does that mean? That means you have to find your own reasons to solve the problems because you are facing adversities. And I quote, as beautifully said by Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, he has beautifully defined fail. He has defined fail as first attempt in learning. When there is a rejection, when the people start saying, oh, no, you're not good at it. Oh, no, you can't do it. Oh, no, you don't deserve to be here. No, you're not good enough. That means there is a next opportunity. and I unquote. These are the two lessons I keep it with me, because for me, they're the biggest driving force for me in every situation I face when I'm in my workplace. And as Bharatji was saying, that you start enjoying yourselves, be happy. I say I love my Mondays after I retired, because I look forward to going to my office, and I like to beat my peon's time and not my staff's time, because it was always the peons who come first and not the staff. And I like to beat their time, because sport actually is very, very competitive. In life, if you start applying, you start learning far more lessons than what you've actually thought of. When I share these thoughts with you, you must be wondering what sport as an add-on can do. I say, why add-on? Why can't it be your first choice? When Government of India is taking so many initiatives, where I hope you know that there's a biggest announcement which has happened, which is going to happen in our neighboring state. Do you know what that announcement is in the sporting environment? Have you read? Okay, how many of you read newspapers? Chalo, let's start with this as a question. No, not the seniors, the kids. How many of you read newspapers? Please raise your hands. There's one girl who only raised her hand. Two. Okay, how many of you read news on social media? Let's be honest. There you go, quite a few. What does that mean? You have to start respecting people who take effort in writing those articles and stories. Start valuing somebody's doing that information for you. I'm not saying once I'm not saying that do not get engaged to digital world or gadgets. It is the future for you. You need to strike a balance. If you want 1 hour of your gadgets, make sure you spend 2 hours on the field doing any activity you like, whether it's sport, art, culture, any singing, dancing, any form of activity. If you make a pact to yourself, trust me, what you will gain in those 2 hours will not be gained here. One simple question. How many of you know 10 phone numbers of your family and friends? Mobile numbers, huh? You know? That means you write. You write, right? Good. There's only one girl who raised her hand saying that she remembers 10 numbers. I'll tell you why I'm asking these questions. Our dependency have increased 10 folds to rely only on the digital world and not create your own space. I humbly submit to you, start engaging. Use sport as your biggest vehicle. How many of you don't like sport? Whether it's playing, watching, doing anything. How many of you don't like? See, there you go. You don't like sport. So what do you like? You don't play sport at all? No, you don't cycle also? That means you play sport. That means you like sport. Cycling is also part of your lifestyle, right? I'm not saying you need to be competitive in sport. You need to start liking sport. One of the lessons why I wanted to ask these questions to you is very simple. When we start relating all these dots, what are our biggest takeaways in sport? Is never give up. Work harder than what you can. In cricket, we always used to say, every single time, if we put in 1% extra effort, 1%, I'm not expecting a lot every day, whether it's in our training, whether it's in our academics, whether it's in our practice sessions, whether it's in our art, any form of activity which we do. If we put in 1% extra, for example, my coach asked me to do 2 rounds, I do 3 rounds, I've put in 1% extra. If my teacher asked me to do, let's say, 20 minutes of practice in some art form, I do 30 minutes of it, I've done 1% extra. If I've been asked to bowl to 4 bowlers, I do that to 5 bowlers, I've put in 1% extra. If we start doing that 1% extra and you accumulate that duration of years, I guarantee you that your success percentage increases considerably. Because unknowingly, you have done something out of your comfort zone. And when you come out of your comfort zone, what sport gives us is the satisfaction, because the percentage of failure in sport is much higher than success. If we talk about the best in the business like Sachin Tendulkar, Roger Federer, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Serena Williams, these are all GOATs, including Messi and Ronaldo, for current generation to relate also. You relate that, right? What is their success percentage, if I ask you, in life? For example, Roger Federer has won 22 Grand Slams, but he has played more than 100 plus matches to win 22 Grand Slams, only at Grand Slams. What is his success percentage? That means it's only 22%. Michael Jordan played for 18 years to win 7 or 8 championships. Sachin Tendulkar scored 100 hundreds, playing 673 innings to get 100 hundreds. And the reason I'm narrating this, it's not about what they have achieved in their life. It's about every single time they have gone with the same intensity, same intent, same hunger to only aspire to achieve excellence. That means their efforts were doubled. Their focus was far more than what you've thought it can be. It's your time to put in that much effort for your own better future and for India's future, because what I asked about the event which will India host in 2030 is the Commonwealth Games, and India wishes to host 2036 Olympics. How many of you want to work in sport as a career if you like sport? How will you do it? How will you do it?
I would like to play badminton.
Great, that's a good sign. What if you don't succeed in badminton? What will you do?
I will try to practice a new sport.
New sport. So you'll change the sport.
No, other sport. Other sport.
Other sport. So you'll change the sport. Okay?
Yes.
See, I'll tell you why I'm asking this. If you like what you do, it's never boring. Any field you choose. Like Bharatji was saying, like Deepaji was saying, if you like what you do, that profession is never ever boring. You will always find a way to make a successful career. I'm not going to take much of your time because I know you're waiting for one more speaker. Prasad is eyes wide open looking at me. Sure.
I would like you to enlighten them about the sports science and sports management.
Sure.
This is what children would like to understand.
So,
what is their future?
Okay, so I'll just narrate few reference number. Ma'am just asked me to narrate you the career paths for you in sports management and sports science. So I'll give you some statistical number. You guys are very good at it with regards to number. So I hope you all follow IPL, right? So how many people actually work behind the scene in IPL? More than 42,000 people work for more than 3.5 months only in one event called IPL. How many people work in national games? I'm sure you follow Olympic sport, right? There are more than 10,000 people work behind the scene from management to science only in national game. There are more than 5,500 people work behind the scene for event like Khelo India Youth Games, University Games, School Games, Beach Games. The reason I'm narrating these numbers for you is the opportunity you get. There are 927 Khelo India centers across India. There are more than 25 high performance centers across all the states, the length and the breadth of India. That is where minimum 8 sports are played in each of these center with high performance expert, SNC coach, trainer, biomechanist, nutritionist, psychologist who are making a successful career behind the scene, making sure the Neeraj Chopras of the world, the Mirabai Chanus of the world, PV Sindhus of the world aspire to win a medal for India. Government of India have come up with the Khelo India schemes. Government of India have come up with the top schemes. You know how many actual players shortlisted for the top scheme, which is the elite scheme to identify good talent? 2,500 athletes are identified. To handle those athletes, 1:25 is the minimum ratio of the bandwidth required to manage the successful transition of athlete winning a medal. These are the opportunities which are currently in existence in India. I'm not even talking about PKL, ISL, badminton league, table tennis league, wrestling leagues, pickleball leagues, paddleball leagues. There are hundreds and thousands of them. I'll ask one more question to you. According to you, how many marathons takes place in India? Do you have some number? In 365 days in a calendar year, how many marathons takes place in India? There are more than 2,400 small, medium, large and platinum marathons takes place in India. And marathon as a sport is the only sport where a participant pay and run, which is a unique thing. A participant pay and trigger an economy for an organizer for a successful delivery of an event. More than 2,400. In Thane itself, there are 5 to 7 marathons. Do you know that? 7 marathons only in place called Thane. There is a monsoon marathon, there is a jungle marathon. Every marathon is taking place. That's where the opportunities are. As an institute, we did a little bit of a research, and just ma'am, to answer your question.
One more thing. After 12th, whether they'll be able to acquire that.
I'm just coming to the same point. So India, to host an Olympic, requires 2 million jobs by 36. That is 20 lakh plus jobs India will be requiring. Imagine 1100 plus or 1200 universities across India. We are not even in a position to cater to 2 million job requirements in India. That is the opportunity India is having in next 10 to 15 years. And according to me, almost 25 to 30% of the jobs are going to be in sports science space. You guys talk about, oh, I'm mentally stressed. You say that, right? I'm mentally pressured. What sport taught us is to handle that successfully. Why can't we engage in sport? So I'll ask a different question to conclude this. I know the line in the front row is experienced enough, but the line behind, how many of you know Gilli Danda or a Vitti Dandu? How many of you have played Vitti Dandu? How many have played Gotia, Kanche? How many of you have played Bhaura? How many of you actually played Gulel, Betski? Just don't raise your hands for the sake of it. Huh? I'll ask you to play. I've carried that. Abhi आधे हाथ कम हो गए देखो. Let's be honest, I'll call each one of you to play those sport. Huh? How many of you played Lagori? Not the fancy modern day Lagori. Huh? The original पत्थर वाला काट के बनाने वाला लगोरी. You know why I'm asking this? Every sport. How many of the girls play ticker? You know ticker? How many of you play langdi? That's good. School plays langdi. So you know why I'm asking this? Every sport teaches us something, and we, as slightly senior category people, indulge into this because we did not have this. All our learning was only outdoor, playing these sports, and the learnings taught us how to handle life, how to fight it out. When I'm actually sitting in that bus fighting for that seat, my sporting engagement taught me how to fight that. When I'm traveling in a train, to get into that crowded train at Dombivli and then put my kit bag on top, that lesson taught me how to fight it out there, because I don't want to give it up. When I'm playing against 11 players, to be standing out against those 11 players, these things, these lessons allowed me to fight it out, because sport taught me this. So for me, this is what sport brings you, all the lessons into your learnings. You are too young, but once you go into college and masters, they will teach you crisis management, risk assessment, leadership, management lessons, every management jargon, we've learnt it on the field by playing and engaging and competing hard and fair. It allowed us to get better as person, as individuals, and look at life differently, look at life lessons differently. And this is what I appeal to all of you. Start engaging into sporting activity. Even if you're not good at, don't think of making a career, but when you play sport, it teaches you something which no other profession can help you sail through. One of the strongest lessons is how to handle failure and what to learn from it. That will stay with you till your last breath, because you will be fighting in every situation, in every role you play, in every adversities you face. These are the lessons which will stay with you. So thank you once again, the Vaibhav Institute and Thane Vaibhav, for inviting and making me part of this wonderful initiative. And wish you all a sporting career. Thank you.
Thank you, Nilesh Kulkarni, for this enriching session. He said that sports is the best teacher, and I truly agree with it. A couple of things that Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni spoke about, and I would just like to touch upon that before we begin with the next session. He spoke that in sports, you are taught that failure happens more often than not success. And I am not saying this. Even Rahul Dravid, the wall of cricket, said that in cricket, you fail more than you succeed. He went on to say that I batted for India more than 600 times. Rahul Dravid batted for India more than 600 times, but he did not go past 50, even 450 times. Less than 150 times, he crossed 50, but we all still consider Rahul Dravid to be the god, the wall of Indian cricket. And one more thing about the 1%, that reminds me about one of the players with whom I am sure you must have played a lot of cricket in Mumbai, Amol Muzumdar. Recently, on 2nd of November, what happened in the world of women's cricket? Absolutely, history was created. The women's team of India, they went on to win the World Cup for the first ever time, and the coach was Mr. Amol Muzumdar, with whom Nilesh Kulkarni would have played a lot of cricket for Mumbai. So Amol Muzumdar simply told the girls a simple thing. Before the semi-final, he just said that you have to score just 1 run extra than the opposition. In cricket, how many runs do you need to beat the opposition? Just 1 run extra. The girls did that, and they went on to win the semi-final against Australia, chasing a mammoth 339. That's a discussion for another day though. We'll move on to the next guest speaker, and he is Dr. Prasad Pradhan. So in the world of banking, it is often said that a good banker is not merely a lender of money. A good banker is not merely a lender of money, he's a guardian of trust. So for the last 30 years, today we have amongst us one such individual who has been safeguarding this trust with utmost precision. Dr. Prasad Pradhan started his banking career in the year 1994 with Bank of India. He later went on to work with HDFC, IDBI, before spending 21 years with Citibank. At Citibank, he held the prestigious position of Global Head of Risk Management. Just over a year back, he joined one of the big 4 companies, that is the PricewaterhouseCoopers, where he leads the global risk consulting practice. So Dr. Prasad Pradhan has been a recipient of numerous awards, and one of which is one of the most distinguished one, and that is the Bharat Samman Award 2025, which he received at New South Wales Parliament House in Sydney for his contribution in banking and financial industry, and also in strengthening India-Australia bilateral trades. So Bharat Samman Award was presented to Dr. Prasad Pradhan. He holds a PhD in Business Resiliency and Risk Management and is an alumnus of not just one, but 2 esteemed institutions in the world. One is the Harvard Business School, And second, of course, is our very own IIT Bombay. He has also worked as a Chief Advisory Director to the Prime Minister Office. So with this kind of experience and expertise that Dr. Prasad Pradhan has in the field of risk, one of the dialogues rings bell in my mind. So I'm playing with the word risk. I'll start the dialogue. I want you guys to finish it off. It is of a popular web series. I can see some smiles on the faces of the students. I think they have got it. So the dialogue says, risk hai to ishq hai. But let me tell you, our next guest speaker for today, Dr. Prasad Pradhan, inko to risk se hi ishq hai. So let us have a round of applause for Dr. Prasad Pradhan. Before his talk, we would like to show an audiovisual which will give us more insights into Dr. Prasad Pradhan's journey.
Meet Dr. Prasad Pradhan, a distinguished global banking visionary with over 3 decades of leadership experience, shaping financial ecosystems across India, Australia, the United States, and markets around the world. Beginning his career at the Bank of India in 1994, Dr. Pradhan pioneered the automation of traditional manual banking operations, ushering in technology-led reforms long before digitization became mainstream. His innovative spirit led him to HDFC Bank, where he introduced groundbreaking concepts such as home banking and Sunday banking, transforming the customer experience in India. At EDBI Bank, he established the modern retail branch network nationwide, conceptualized the single-window wholesale banking model, and helped define the bank's contemporary retail brand identity. In 2004, Dr. Pradhan joined Citibank, beginning a transformative 2-decade leadership journey with the global multinational giant. He led strategic initiatives that positioned Citibank as India's most profitable and customer-centric multinational bank, while elevating the bank's premium brand presence across airports, luxury venues, and major business districts. Rising to the role of Global Senior Vice President, he became Citigroup's trusted interface for regulatory engagements worldwide, earning deep respect from banking regulators across Europe, North America, and Asia. A lifelong learner, he holds postgraduate degrees in finance, marketing, management, and law. He completed Harvard Business School's Individual Leadership Program, earned a dual Global Executive MBA from Washington University in St. Louis in IIT Bombay, and received his doctorate in Global Banking Resiliency and Enterprise Risk Governance from the historic Sorbonne University in Paris. Along this remarkable journey, Dr. Pradhan has been honored with multiple global recognitions, including the prestigious Bharat Samman Award at the New South Wales Parliament House in Sydney, acknowledging his outstanding contributions to global banking, financial risk governance, academia, and Indo-Australian bilateral relations. Dr. Pradhan has also been bestowed with the distinguished role of Honorary Chief Advisory Director for the National Financial Literacy Board under the National Education Policy, Ministry of Ayush. He additionally serves in an advisory capacity with the Ministry of External Affairs, working closely with strategic initiatives aligned with the Prime Minister's office. Today, he serves as Senior Partner for Risk Consulting and Leader for Banking, Financial Services, Insurance, and Global Capability Centers at PricewaterhouseCoopers. In this role, he shapes next-generation risk advisory frameworks, drives enterprise transformation, and strengthens India's position as a global hub for GCC innovation and leadership. As a sought-after international speaker, he addresses premier platforms, including the Global Entrepreneur Conference, sharing insights on entrepreneurship, governance, digital transformation, and India's expanding global influence. Beyond corporate leadership, he is a passionate mentor to students and young professionals, guiding them through his philosophy of responsibility, resilience, and relevance. A visionary with unwavering conviction and a global perspective, Dr. Prasad Pradhan continues to impact industries, shape policy dialogue, uplift communities, and inspire future generations around the world.
Oh my God, with this introduction, honestly, I'm so tensed after having such an august panel. Dr. Deepa, Bharatji, my partner in crime, Nilesh. After listening to you all, I mean, honestly, I completely changed my thoughts, what I should speak. And when Zuili, by the way, great work done. Where is she? I can't spot her. Great work done. I think you've been conducting and anchoring this event very well. First of all, thank you so much, my dearest friend, Dr. Vavi, Dr. Vaishali, for inviting me this. And when Zuili mentioned to me about the trust and while introducing, अजूनही माझ्यावरती responsibility येते, that is, I should leave it to the word. To Nilesh point, that is, I'm the last batsman, पण आता मला target set करायचे आहेत ना, that is, we are going to give other inning to chase the runs. So being a last batsman, I don't know what the target should be, whether the 345 is enough for South Africa to beat us or not, right? So, but I will try and keep it very crisp. When Dr. Vavi, sorry, I call him Vavi, that's my dearest name, he reached out to me for a drishti. The only one thought came into my mind, that is, the doctor and the institute which keeps our drishti maintained for so long, at least I should do some kharisa vata for this event. And that's what, I thought I will be of some contribution to this drishti 2025. And when I left my home this morning, in fact, my son Saumik, Singhania's alumni hai, he's alumni of Singhania. He's just here in India for vacation. He warned me. He told me, Dada, don't bore people, okay? Student, they don't like, and don't give your jargons and the great gyan from the business school speeches. I think keep it yourself very low and calm. So I will try my best to be relevant to this. Having said so, it's delighted to be over here. All of you heard a lot from the diverse industry. Dr. Deepa spoke about her research in the food technology and how she grew up as an entrepreneur and even the academician too. Bharatji, actually, तुम्ही माझी भीती चेपलीत. That is, you made me comfortable to open up myself. That is, yes, I can talk anything under the sky now. And of course, Nilesh and me, we go a long way together. We've been going to such shows many times together, so I know his way of style, and it's delighted to be over here. Yeah, having said so, my responsibility here as a speaker, I will try and summarize what actually you heard. At the same time, try to give you some tangible points around this. So that जे आपण स्कूलमध्ये म्हणतो, that is, when you do the uzani or the revision, you should get something to learn about it. Of course, I'll be talking a few things about even my domain, which is the BFSI. Jalapan, we speak banking and financial sector industry about it. But let's understand one thing. All of you are in that phase of your academic career where you know what's coming up for you. After 10th, you will be hitting, few of you will be hitting Akravi, Baravi, and or few of will be hitting actually directly the integrated courses. Today, the industry needs to know is not what you know from the school, but it is what industry wants you to know. And there is a huge difference. On your academics, you will be having your certification. That is what you have arrived and you acquired as your education, but industry might need you to deliver the expectation from the industry. And that's what exactly in your this phase of your career life, you should know exactly what industry wants you to deliver. It's very simple. That is not just about what and which school you are coming from, which career option you are taking from, but always pay heed in whichever field or industry you want to go. You should know what that industry expects you to know. Currently, I always say in my famous Ds, that is, currently the industry outside, and when I say industry outside, it is not just about the one particular field, it is across all the fields, where it's all digitization. So everybody knows the AI is coming up, so everything is becoming digitized. Even in the banking also, most of the banks we are talking about, we as not a banker, so we are like a technology company having the banking license. Secondly, it is all about disruptive world. So currently, many of the industries are looking for the innovative disruption. And also, there is another D, we talk about a democratization. It is not about how senior you will be in your career or in your company. It is about what you will bring to the table. So these 3 Ds, generally the industry, they want you to know, and that's how you can sail through and pave through your career. Let me just circle back to the whole life cycle of our career growth, and I always speak about 3 R's in the career, and in next 10 minutes I will try to give the references of the real life story about it. The most important is you have to be responsible for career. So R for responsible. What does that mean? In the today's day and age, all of you having such a easy access to the technology, the knowledge and the options in your career is just at your fingertips. Take the ownership, what you really want to do. And to even Bharatji's point, that is, he went with the flow, what came in his own way. And that's exactly, I can correlate even my own life, that is, I joined for a typical in our day and age, there are only 2 streams, either engineering and medical. And we used to opt for the so-called the PCM and the PCB. M stands for maths and B stands for biology. And honestly, I opted for the engineering sheerly because of not I was so great about about knowing the field, but just I got the good marks, so I said, okay, chalo jate hain karke. And to shock of my life, and I won't mind sharing with you, thanks to Bharatji, in the first year I got 2 KTs. I flunked. Mechanics, mathematics, which I was used to flaunt, I flunked in that case. I thought, if jamega, nahi jamega, should I drop or not? I sailed through further, right? But I have to take the responsibility, that's my decision. And I got my admission on my own merit. In 3rd year, I somehow passed through. And a typical mentality that is after the B, the people will go for the MS in US. So similarly, I gave GRE, TOEFL, I scored well, and I was all set to fly for US. And I was in the 3rd year, it was the 6th semester. Destiny has got something else in my life design. I lost my father. I was hardly 20 years old that time. There was challenge. I was the only one son. My mother went into trauma and she went into depression. The psychiatrist and even the physicians were saying that has to be somebody with her. A huge question mark in front of me, that is, what should I do? My friend said, "Nay, don't be emotional. You have a golden career in US. You should move on. She can be taken care." But I thought I'm responsible for my family. If my mother needs me to be in with her in India, why I should really think about my career? It can happen anytime later as well. I took that responsibility and I gave up my career in US and I held back myself in India, staying with her, accompanying her because she needed me that time. I opted to learn and earn together. So I continued, I finished my engineering, but as a passion for the learning, I joined part-time law that time, but at the same time wanted to earn, I continued my career. The reference I gave you this is about, I took the responsibility. Be responsible for your decision. Don't blame it to anyone. Don't blame it to even parents at all. It's your life, your decision, just move on with that. Second R, which I always love to speak about it, is you have to be relevant. What does that mean? If any time in your life or your career you believe you have arrived, that's a sign of for your redundancy. Currently, the industry is going so rapid speed, the redundancy becomes but obvious. I give you a very live example. 2008, when the whole world was going through subprime lending recession, and for all of you, you may not be knowing that time, but the recession is nothing but that is the whole world goes through the economic slum and huge impact on the industry and the jobs at large. In US and eventually in India also, thousands of people lost their jobs. In US, lakhs of people lost their job. Even in my own organization, in Citibank, we actually give the pink slip. Pink slip means that is, they just lay off the people. They just make you quit the job overnight. And around 40 to 50,000 people lost the job just overnight. The challenge is who can remain in those days relevant. The people who were relevant to their respective jobs and the industry, they continued to be there. And this relevance, and that's why I told you, that is, if you believe that is you have arrived, you are done, be it your education, be it your even certain levels in your industry, if you join any organization, you generally, those typical this, now the titles are coming, that is business analyst and all those. Again, just in this context, I will give this reference, just be aware about what this analyst is expected. The reason is this is a very common word, this is a very tricky word, and I can tell you because you are at the right age, because you have to take your own choices. So be specific and understand what you are expected out of it. In the career, don't just go behind the title, as even Bharatji rightly mentioned on the fashion industry or the advertising industry, you should not go behind glamour. Always understand what are the hard work needed behind this. And I'm sure once you study that, you know the reality, meet the people who are experiencing those respective fields, you will understand the relevance of those requirements. So ensure that is you remain relevant to your knowledge, to your studies, what you have done, and see that is how your studies, what you are now learning in your school. Most of the schools I have seen, that is now you are at the right age where integrated courses are very, very common. Be it IIT curriculum or be it your NEET curriculum in the medicines, the integrated courses are becoming part of your life. My suggestion would be try and see whether you can balance it out instead of integrated courses. Opt for the campus curriculum, opt for those colleges so that you get the right exposure during the campuses. My friend Nilesh was giving you the example of that is how many people were talking about, how many of you know those typical old time sports, right? The reason is that the physical connect and actual connect is winning off. What happens in your integrated career? You people sit at home, you have been given the certain number of hours, you go to one of the associated colleges, do your practicals, and then you directly go for the exams for your 12th, and then whole focus is on your all the entrance exams. That actually disconnect you from the campuses. You have to meet your other students. You have to be in the campus. I will strongly promote if you can actually look at those careers and your schools and colleges where they give you the right balance of competitive exam and actually feel of the campus. The last R and not least, most important, R for resilience. What does that mean? You have to be agile and resilient in your life. There were ups and downs in my own career. But the thing is, when you know you like what you want to do, you will remain resilient. If you take responsibility for your decisions, if you take responsibility for your own career, if you know how to be relevant for your academic career path, if you know how you need to be relevant in your professional thing, the resiliency automatically comes in your within. And the resilience is not just for your professional or a career life, it is for your own personal life itself. The life is not going to treat you just vanilla. Understand one thing, you are, and I believe that is this whole, Zuili, the whole audience is between 9 to 12 standard, right? You all are at exactly that gateway, what I say, where you will be entering into the world of unknown. The reason I say world of unknown, you will say, what you're talking, I always see on the Instagram, that is what's happening around. I'll always see on any of the social media handle. No. You will get to see on the social media what others want you to see. You will never get to see on the social media and all these digital channels or digital handles what is the reality of the life. And the reality of life will come only when, if you go to your campuses, you meet your all the friends on the campus, you meet, you interact with your faculty. That's the reality. Reality is in such kind of programs where you tend to interact with all these industry stalwarts, you exchange your questions, thoughts with that, and you get to know from them what's really happening in the industry. That's the reality. The reality is the one where you know what is expected out of you and what you believe is expected out of you. I give you another example, and which is a real time. During my Citibank tenure, we had a program called as a CAP. So what does that mean? We used to hire around 60 candidates from IIT campuses in India. And IIT is the most sought for institute. I have my different views on that, though I am a proud IIT alumni and I am on the governing council, but I still have another view. But we used to hire around 60 people. And those candidates, that's a batch of 60, we had to really work, and we had designed the program for 18 months for them to groom as a best professional. And I was part of that whole campus interviews and all those. I used to be there on the panel, and I saw this whole process for 3 years, and I really started thinking, what are we doing? Another example, which is a unique one, during my panel selection, I was asking one candidate, and he's from civil stream of IIT Bombay, and he applied for Citibank job. I said, and he's a topper in civil. I said, you applied for Citibank job, you are a civil engineer, you know what you are opting for, right? Yeah, sir, I know that. I said, so why you want to come in the banking and not pursuing your own stream where you topped that? Sir, brand. I said, how that is relevant to you? I can still understand. Now, there are certain curriculum which we design in IIT Bombay where they give you the choice of the major against the minor, that is in the third year you can take some kind of elective where you can have another flavor of another stream like say finance in civil also. But this guy just wanted to come for a brand, मुझे टैग लेके जाना है करके. किसने कहा? नहीं, मुझे पता है ब्रांड वैल्यू होती है. But if he is going to waste his own talent where he has a passion for the civil just for the sake of brand, I sat with him for half an hour, I counseled him that is why he should not opted for Citibank. For me, in Citibank, it would have been great, tick mark, oh great, we hired the gold medalist from IIT Bombay. But no, I would have done injustice with this candidate if I would have continued to pursue him in Citibank. It's a waste of a great human resource of our Bharat. And today I'm so happy I dissuaded him from joining Citibank, and today he is leading the big projects for L&T in various infrastructure projects in Bharat. The reason I gave you this example, please understand one thing. And again I'm coming back, I like Bharatji your point also. Do really what you feel like doing it. Don't do it for sake of why others are doing it. Don't just come into the influence of any, any of YouTube influencers. You know what you really want to do. Just think about it. Talk to people, talk to your colleagues, talk to your faculty, talk any of the industry experts. But you are the one who will be responsible for your own career, own decisions. You are the one who need to be relevant for your any phase of your life, and you are the one who need to be resilient for all your phases of your life. Even if you become the grandfather for any of your grandchildren, you have to be resilient in your life. These were my last few thoughts, and I will open now forum for the Q&A. I don't want to take much time from all of you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Vavikar. Thank you, Dr. Vaishali, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Prasad Pradhan. It was indeed enlightening for all of us to hear you speak. So now we are done with the first session. The 4 guest speakers, they have already expressed what they want to say. But let me tell you, all these 4 guest speakers spoke to you independently. But in their personal lives, they are all very well connected. And just when I was just sitting there on the chair, I thought that let's call them Fab 4. Isn't it? Weren't they fabulous today? Weren't they fabulous today? So before starting with the Q&A, I would like to invite the Fab 4 to come up on the dais. We'll have the 4 chairs for you. And the students, keep your questions ready, because at a time, you can get a chance to interact with all 4 of them. So we'll be taking questions as soon as our guest speakers, they settle on the stage. Dr. Deepa Bhazekar, our first guest speaker. Then we had Mr. Bharat Dabholkar, Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni, and finally, Dr. Prasad Pradhan. I request all 4 of you to come up on the stage. And our enthusiastic students would like to ask some questions to you. So these people, they have set the stage. They have told us all their personal stories. So feel free, my dear friends, feel free. Whatever question that you have, just fire them at these guests. Opening कौन करेगा? Opening batter कौन है? Teachers, parents, feel free to participate. Nilesh Kulkarni just said, we all know who was the first one, I think, to step on the moon. So everybody knows who's the first one to ask questions. Second, third, fourth, किसी को नहीं पता. First one, come on. Okay, Dr. Vavikar wants to go first.
So, my question is to Dr. Prasad Pradhan. See, financial literacy is something which is not at all a part of the curriculum. So, can you explain in brief how the student should go around it?
Hi, so thank you, Dr. Vavikar, for this question. Let me give the context. So, this was in November 2019 when I received a call from PMO office that Modi ji wanted to start something called as a National Financial Literacy Board. And it was new then for all of us what was in mind. And after having a detailed discussion and a debrief from him, so the idea is, if you recall in 2014 when we launched Jan Dhan Yojana, that was then Modi ji's dream during Namo 1.0 to make the banking sector more inclusive for entire Bharat. So the plan was that there are many people who were underbanked. Their banking accounts were not opened. So plan was that to get maximum number of people covered under the banking sector, under the bankable population, so that the entire Aadhaar link based schemes which are there, all the government subsidies and everything, that will be easier and more legitimately distributed across. So that's where it all began. So initially the Ministry of Finance was engaged. Then we found, so it started from there, then we found this financial literacy can be more effective only when we start it from the school level. So it's all about application and experiential oriented learning. So then we decided, let's bring that curriculum right into the school level so that we can develop the module and the curriculum for the next generation to go up the curve. And that's where we engage Ministry of HRD at this time. Now today, as I say, that is, there is a strong curriculum which has been actually conducted across various of the top institute, where they teach the student right after the 10th standard. So there is integrated courses which make them financially aware and educated from the academic point of view. I give you a very easier example. There are many courses like say BBAs of the world, like say bachelors in business application, or there are certain curriculum which are more related to the banking and the insurances. If you see all this customized curriculum, those were not, earlier days it was either commerce or the arts. But now in the both arts and the commerce, there are these curriculums which are specifically done for the BFSI sector, which is the banking and financial sector, which is a part of this National Financial Literacy Board, where idea is that students start getting the learning right from 11th standard. They can opt up to 12th standard also, but they start getting the learning right from the 11th standard. But there is a experiential learning applicable. So during their third last or the second last year, they get exposure for 1 semester each in the various institutes, which can be the government institute, which can be quasi-government institute, but they actually get to work with the Ministry of Finance or the similar quasi-institute. So they get a full exposure, what are the policies of the government, and that's where they get ready. When they come out of the campuses, they are ready to start working immediately, not just in the government organization, but in the private sector also. So that's all about it.
Thank you. So we have some students from Amber School. Can we have your question, please?
Hello. So my question is to Dr. Deepa ma'am. Were you ever underestimated in your work industry because you were a woman?
Underestimated? No, not at all. To be very honest, I have never faced any discrimination because I was a woman. The only place where you find it difficult is to run your home and your business and your social life, you know. So I think as a woman outside in the industry, I have never faced discrimination for respect or whatever for the work.
Thank you.
And also, I'm from the science stream, you remember. I'm not in any commercial businesses. So I've run a business which is a food testing lab and an R&D. So it's a very scientist-driven business. So I guess that makes the difference.
Yeah, so my question is that at what age were you clear with your future and what you want to do? Because at this age, sometimes you get confused. You have so many hobbies and so many other interests. You don't know what is one thing that will go on for 30 more years.
It's a very good question.
Thank you.
A very, very good question. And all of us come to crossroads where you have to take these decisions. So I must tell you, I did theatre all through my school and college as a parallel career. And at some point in my graduation, I had a national level theatre opportunity for Othello with a very, very famous director. And I had the master's admission in UDCT. So when I asked my father, which one should I take? He said, if you wish to get married and have a normal life, then choose masters. If you wish to not get married and have an ambitiously artistic career, go to theatre. And it's a very difficult decision because I had won so many shields in the last 3 years in Marathi theatre that to give that high on stage, you know, where you can actually take the claps, it's very difficult. So I chose academics. But all of us at some point come to crossroads where it's a very difficult choice to make. So for all of you children, I told you have to cut the noise, sit with yourself and see where your path is.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So my question is for Bharat sir. Sir, what's the best piece of advice you have ever received in your life?
Sorry, I didn't understand that.
What's the best piece of advice you have ever received in your life?
No, I received no advice. They just let me do what I wanted to do. And I would continue what she just said. In life, if possible, don't take choices. Do everything that comes your way. I got into advertising. Theatre came my way. I didn't give up advertising for theatre. I extended my day. So if I worked from 9 in the morning to 7 in the evening in advertising, from 8 to 11:30 I worked in theatre. I didn't say I'll give up advertising and do theatre, or I'll give up theatre because I'm working in advertising. So whatever comes your way, don't give it up. Try and find, you may have to work harder, you may have to work maybe longer than normal people work. But do that because that's very interesting.
So is there any personal quotes in your life that you live by?
No, nobody gave me any advice.
So there's
I'm sorry?
No, is there any personal quotes that you live by?
Yeah, I tell people, when I meet people, I tell them, don't belong to anything, always unbelong. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Unbelong to a thing. If you work in any institution, do something different. It's the difference that will finally take you ahead. Because if you belong, you dress similarly, you walk similarly, you talk similarly. When you unbelong, you do different things, and that's what makes you stand out. I think unbelong.
Hello. Good morning, sir. So my question is to Nilesh, sir. You have played with many big stars, with Mumbai cricket players, India team players. So any one takeaway from them you would like to share with us?
So I'll tell you one very small piece of learnings which I had. I was playing Mumbai versus Australia when I was part of an Indian cricket team. And I had taken 5 wickets on the last day, which was a 3-day match. But I was dropped on that day from Indian team. After taking a 5 wicket for Mumbai against Australia, I was dropped from the team. So obviously I was dejected, and Mumbai and Australian team were part of a dinner hosted by CCI. The match was hosted there. And one piece of advice / morale booster came from Sunil Gavaskar sir. I was sitting quietly. Obviously you feel disappointed because you've done well and you were part of the team. So he came to me and said, you're disappointed. I said, yes, you better be disappointed because you have the right to be disappointed. But do one thing. What is in your hand? I said, performance. So make sure with your performance, knock the door. If they can't hear it, second time, knock it louder with your performance. Here's the story. In spite of knocking louder, if they can't hear it, third time, make sure you break the door. So even if they can't hear it, they bloody well see the door and see your performance not to be considered. So for me, that is my biggest lesson in terms of don't depend on somebody else to help you do something what you're thinking of good at. Think about yourself, how you can better it and start correcting it. Because in cricket, we always say, nobody can take that 22 yards away from you. What you do in 22 yards decides your own future. Make sure you give justice to that. Make sure you give more than 100% to that. And the results are part of your journey. Because there are sayings which I've said, for you to get closer to India, you need 95% skill and 5% luck. To get it to any representing country, you need 95% skill, 5% luck. But to be able to play in the team, you need 95% luck and 5% skill, because you're competing with more than 20 to 100 people to get into that. So I'll give you a very statistical reference. Till today, almost 100 years, India has only got 319 test cricketers played for India, out of which 20 odd players have played more than 100 test matches. Players like me who played 3, 5, 10 matches are like in hundreds. But there are millions of them who aspired to play for India could not play. You should think about that also.
Thank you, sir. I also be professional. This will help me a lot in my career.
All the best.
Thank you, sir.
Hello. My question is for Sir Bharat sir. What were the biggest struggles you faced in the early days of your career?
Biggest hurdle? Struggles? No, I faced no struggles. Because I was happy wherever I was. You face struggles when you want to go higher. I didn't want to go higher. I just wanted to be happy where I was. So because I was good at what I was doing, I went up. But not because I had this great ambition to. So I had no struggles. I had the easiest of life.
So, what was the most challenging ad project you worked on?
The challenges that we worked on, as I said, is that we were in a field which was advertising, where for every brand that we handled, every product that we handled, there were maybe 50 similar products. And how do we keep on doing things which were different from what they were doing when we had less money than some of the big companies that we had? Our clients had less money. So our challenge was, with less money, how can we create something that is better than the campaigns that the other people are doing? So that's the constant challenge advertising always has. How can you be better than others? It's not so much as what a nice campaign you can make, but can your campaign convince consumers to buy your product over other people's products? So that's a constant challenge we have. And that's what keeps us going.
Thank you.
Sir, this is to you only. Which of your work is closest to your heart and why?
Sorry, which is the?
Which of your work is closest to your heart and why?
You know, whenever I've written any campaign for whichever brand that I've handled, I thought that was the best thing I've ever done when I was doing it. And a month later when I looked at it, I thought such a lousy campaign, I could have done so much better. So everything that I was doing was very close to my heart. And a month later, I thought that was pretty bad. So, but that's what keeps you growing. You have to keep on bettering yourself. It's not, you can't be satisfied with what you've done. You have to always feel that you could have done better. Maybe if you had more efforts or more time. So you must keep on always striving.
And ma'am, this is to you. What is one mistake students should avoid while choosing their career?
Very good question. What is one mistake one should avoid when you're selecting a career? I think the one mistake you can avoid is don't select a career that somebody else decided, because it may not be right for you. Select a career that you would love to do for 30 years. It's a long span, you know. And select your first job. You know, everything has to move in that same direction. Otherwise, you'll miss your goal.
Thank you.
Can I just add one thought to this for your question? Don't be afraid of mistakes. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Because if you think about mistakes, you're not thinking about success.
I would like to ask my question to Nilesh sir. I would really like to know how you managed your academics along with your...
I didn't. I focused on cricket. Academic came accidentally. I played cricket. I gave 100% to cricket. When I finished cricket, I gave 100% to academics. Very simple.
So
Why
which
confused?
was first, like by your priority?
Age-wise, cricket was the first. Experience-wise, academics is the priority now. Because I can't play cricket now. So that's why I'm into academics. I can actually give good advice. And I can't play.
Thank you. So yeah, sir, I have a question for you. There is like, I would like to, sir, both like three of you, I have questions. So there was a saying my father used to say always, की मराठी मध्ये सांगते तुम्हाला, की हारलीच तरी चालेल, पण कधी हार नको माणूस. तर यावर तुमचं काय मत, की हे बरोबर बोललेत, की तुम्हाला काय ऍड करायचं याच्यावरती, की काय वाटतं या मताबद्दल?
सी ज्या दिवशी तू हरणं एक्सेप्ट करशील ना त्या दिवशी कधीच ग्रो होणार नाही. प्रयत्न केले तरच सक्सेस येतं ना. जर का प्रयत्न थांबवले तर सक्सेस येणारच नाही. तू हरणं पहिल्या एफर्टला थांबव, तिसऱ्या एफर्टला थांबव, 10व्या एफर्टला थांबव. जेव्हा तू थांबवतेस तेव्हा तू गिवअप करतेस. जेव्हा तू गिवअप करत नाहीस तेव्हाच सक्सेस येतं. देर इज नो स्क्रिप्ट फॉर सक्सेस.
There's a famous film, you may not have seen it, called Rocky, Sylvester Stallone. And the moral of that film is, it's not how many times you fall down, but how many times you get up after falling down.
Okay.
The winners are not the ones who don't fall down. They fall down, but they get up. No matter how many times you are made to fall down, they keep getting up. I think that is how all of you should be.
So like, do you all agree with the quote just I said? की हारलीच तरी चालेल पण हार नको माणूस.
Every person you meet who has reached some level is going to agree with this quote. Because there's not a single successful person who hasn't fallen several times before they reach success. Each one does. You have. You don't know. You don't remember.
So like, Bharat sir, I wanted a question. Like, I have a question for you.
Sorry. We have, dear, we have many students. We'll just keep to one question per student. Okay. Thank you. Seems like. So please restrict your questions to just one and keep it very short and direct it to the person.
I have a question for Nilesh sir. How do I avoid distractions while pursuing my sports?
Very simple, don't think about it. Can you control that?
Yes.
If you can, then you have a winning formula. It's very simple. We confuse ourselves by getting distracted. The choice is always with you and not with somebody else. You have to decide to use that moment to then be getting distracted or avoid distraction. You have a choice. See, I'll tell you a very small example. You understand Marathi, right?
Yes.
So I'll tell you a small story. When I was in Dombivli, I used to travel by train. I used to catch a 5 o'clock train. And all my friends were engineering friends. So every time in the evening when I used to come back after training and practice, they would discuss, अरे आज project था, assignment थे, आज submission था, बहुत pressure था, ये formula, उसका formula, ये वो सब discuss कर रहे थे. And I used to just spend 10 minutes and go to sleep. अरे पागल है तू क्या? I had the thought कि उनका important discussion for their learning was engineering. My discussion was to take a rest, sleep, because I had to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You always have a choice. If I had made that choice to be with friends, I would have missed my practice next day, which I couldn't have afforded to. So you make that choice to avoid distraction.
Thank you, sir.
So my question is to all of you. Did any one of you ever faced a situation in your life where you thought you cannot pursue your career? If you did, then how did you ignited your enthusiasm again?
I just request one guest speaker to answer this, please. Any one of you.
Who do you want to answer? Who do you?
Just one.
No, don't keep that choice. Don't keep that choice. Very simple. I never wanted to not play cricket. So I was never bored of it. I wanted to make a career in cricket. So I made my career.
Okay.
In fact, if you hear and right from Bharatji, Nilesh, Dr. Deepa, and including me, we opted for a career which we wanted. And the answer is same. That is, we never repented for that because we wanted to get into that, and we just ensure that is we follow our passion and the happiness. And we were getting the happiness, and we just followed that. So no regret at all.
Sir, I have one question to ask to Nilesh sir. Where is the International Institute of Sports and Management located, and what's the eligibility of joining and criteria?
It's in Andheri, and
Yes, sir.
the eligibility criteria, there is an entrance exam which is on par with CET. But if you play sport, there is some concessional offer, and it has all the standard qualifying criterias. If you need more information, Karan sir is sitting here. I don't want to take more time explaining you the process. You can actually talk to him on the side and he'll walk you through what all required. But I always believe if you like what you do, the sky is the limit for the opportunities. So enjoy that and make sure that you give more than 100% to that.
Hello. If anybody has any other questions regarding the speakers, okay. Thane, okay. Please contact Thane Vaibhav or Vavikar Institute. We'll help you to reach to these speakers.
So every student just ask one question. If you have any follow-up questions, reach out to Vavikar Eye Institute or Thane Vaibhav. One question, please.
बिना माइक का भी आवाज आ जाएगा.
Hello.
Hello? Yeah, so I wanted to ask about how you all said that about the calling and how we should all pursue happiness instead of success and all. So I was wondering, how did you all ever feel like, yes, you have found your calling, like, yes, this is what I should pursue. Was there never this fear that, what if this is not what I'm best at? What if there's something else I could do better or be more happy doing?
I'm okay. I've been answering. I can.
See, I'll tell you very honestly, we all go with our gut feeling, right? We do what choices we make. So at that point, whatever seems the right thing and whatever your gut tells you is something you do. And then you continue and profess and excel at it. So every person has multiple talents. So let's say I had become an architect. Perhaps I would be as good an architect as I am a scientist, really. So people who do drive excellence will succeed perhaps in every field that they're interested in, no? So there's no right and wrong answer to your question. Yes, we would succeed in other fields as well. That's my answer. I don't know about
I just stand so that I can see you actually. I have a slightly different perspective on this. So A is what you like yourself to do. So I give my example. In my 32 years of the banking career, initial first 17 years in Indian banking context and even with the Citibank also, I did hardcore sales and marketing related work. So which is called as a business role, front ending, managing the P&L, managing the whole business, right? And I used to think that is I'm a great selu, I'm a great marketing guy, I can get the business for the institution. But when I moved to the global role, it's all about how you also get perceived by others. And I'm talking specifically when you join any organization. When you're entrepreneur, sky is the limit. You can just spend the entire canvas the way you want. But at times, how you get perceived. So Jolie introduced me as a risk leader. So my whole journey started on the 18th year of my career, where I was perceived much better than the business person as a risk leader. And that's how I excelled within my organization all the way up to the global head. The idea is that get that happiness, what you are doing, and you can excel in the career, in whichever line you are. And just be mindful about how you get perceived also. So it's just not about what you think and what you should do. Have that self-reflection and the self-assessment also across while you are doing this whole journey on this.
Hello. Sir, my question is to Nilesh sir. I would like to ask, when you decided that you wanted to take cricket as your career, there must have been thoughts that made you think that, will this work? Then how did you overcome those thoughts?
Very simple. Keep it very simple. If you have a goal, make sure how many hurdles you get, you think only about the goal. Because it's not about the journey, it's about the destination. And if you start paying more attention to the journey, you will lose a focus on your destination. So it might take me 5 years to get there, somebody 1 year, somebody 6 months, somebody 3 years. But I'm still thinking about my destination and not the journey. Because journey is just the process. Destination is the utmost goal and an objective. In any field you choose, it doesn't have to be cricket.
Thank you, sir.
I have a question to Nilesh sir. Can you please tell me who was your idol when you were young?
So when I started playing cricket, I actually looked up to Ravi Shastri for 2 reasons. Obviously, he was 6'2" and I grew 6'4", so I could relate. But more importantly, what I liked about Ravi is the kind of ability he had. In spite of having humongous ability, he controlled the output. So he was smart enough to understand his strengths and weaknesses, and he applied that to most effective manner which he could do. For me, that was one of the greatest inspiration I had from Ravi Shastri. And that's how I started following those things.
Thank you.
My question is to Bharat sir, and I was wondering what is a core memory of yours that helped you choose your career?
I have no core memory that helped me through my career.
Ma'am?
I wanted to be an IPS officer. I think I would have been equally happy if I was a policeman today, as I am as an advertising person.
How did you choose such an artistic route? I mean, the advertisement.
Because I am a lawyer, so when I was practicing law in my exams, I didn't study much, so I used to answer all kinds of fancy questions and fancy answers. So my professor called me and said, look, law is a very exact science. You must be able to answer the correct question correctly. You can't have fancy ideas, so don't get into law. Get into something where your fancy ideas will work. So I got into advertising. Because law is very exact, so.
Thank you.
My question is to Bharat sir. You're very down to earth. You live a very simple life even though you're so successful. Why do you make that choice and why do you think it's so important to be down to earth?
It's very important because in my office, in fact, I had a poster which we had made and put up. It said, a happy man is not happy because out of 10 things, everything goes right for him. He's happy because he only looks at the things that go right for him. In life, everything will never go right for you. Out of 10 things that happen in a day, maybe 5 will go wrong. And if you look at those 5, you'll always be unhappy. Or maybe 8 will go wrong and 2 will go right. Just look at the 2 that go right and you'll always be happy.
Thank you so much,
And the
sir.
other thing that I've done in my life is I've surrounded myself with animals all the time. So animals always keep you happy.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
My question is addressed to Ms. Deepa ma'am. In your path of achieving the PhD for microbiology, what were the ups and downs and how did you overcome the downs of the PhD?
I'll be honest, I had no downs actually in PhD because I opened the department at 6:30 in the morning like a peon and closed it at 6:30 in the evening after everybody was gone. So I worked a 12-hour day every day. So to be very honest, I did my graduation and I got a direct doctorate after that. So although I finished my master's papers, so my guide wrote to the university and got me awarded a doctorate. So I became the youngest PhD. But I think nothing beats hard work. I mean, there all answers are clever and humorous. Mine are very serious. Nothing beats hard work according to me. So I think I would have put in 12 to 14 hours for
Thank
the
you so
doctorate.
much. My question is also for Deepa ma'am.
If you ever felt that you had a burnout or you felt stumped, how did you overcome it and how long did it take you to get out of this stump?
I've never felt burnt out actually. You know, I just want to be 25 again and start running. So, to be very honest, I'm not the type who gets tired, exhausted. I don't think I've used that word in the last 50 years that I can recall, because I chose a career that I loved. So I can't wait for sunrise to get back to my R&D lab and create innovations. We just got 4 patents granted last year, and they're actually global firsts. They're not just Indian firsts technologies. I've invested in 8 technologies, all of which are globally first. So we cracked 4 of them commercially.
Thank you, ma'am.
So I'm never tired. So that's why I said, no, select the perfect thing that fits you, and you'll never be exhausted.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
My question is also to Deepa, ma'am. So you have achieved so much in life. So I'm sure you've also gone through a lot of failures. So what kept you going through those failures? And perhaps you could share something that you recall that was particularly upsetting to you.
So I'll tell you very honestly that the first business was a service business. So we worked for 25 MNCs in India. So every contract I lost, was it Coke, Pepsi, Nestle, McDonald's, KFC, they were all my clients. It burns you because you started that business from zero. You don't know how to accept failure. It becomes very personal. Over a period of time, you learn that you have to be objective, that there may be somebody better than you out in the market. And that is the biggest stumble every, I think, business person would have faced at some point. Accepting that is very hard, that somebody else in the market can deliver better service or even other. I didn't lose many clients, but even if I lost one, I would lose sleep. And you know, when you have to get up the next morning and your whole team has to be re-motivated, you have to get with the same pace back to office. So that's...
Thank you, ma'am.
Excuse me, I think you have asked a question already, if I'm not mistaken. Can we have some other students, please?
Okay, I have a question to Prasad, sir. Actually, when your father passed away, how did you set yourself back and your journey in that country, in that traumatic state?
I just, in my speech, I just mentioned about the 3 R's. And in that 3 R, the last R, which is called as resilience, that was the mantra. So, and it's not something which I did great, but I just made myself agile to the situation where I believed that's my responsibility. Because my first R, which talking about, is, which for me, then that point in time, the family was a priority. So, as I said, I was just 20 years and my mother was going through the whole psychiatric trauma, and there has to be someone with her, and I'm being the only one son. So, the only thought came into my mind, that is, why I'm here today is because of her, right? If she needs my presence, then that point in time, that's my priority. That is what my responsibility is. And the resiliency will come automatically. I maintained myself, I stayed along with her. At the same time, I was very practical. That is, I need to earn for my family. And that's why I started doing the whole balancing act of learning and earning. So I used to go to Bank of India for morning hours, typically 9 to 5, and I used to do evening college for my law, and I continued to do so. But that made me more resilient, and I continued to come out of that, and then they stayed focused on my goal, what I wanted to do that. Thank you.
Sir.
Especially for Bharat Dabholkar sir. Sir, when we actually start something new, there are many people who actually criticize us. So just wanted to ask how to deal in these situations when somebody actually reject us or they make fun of us.
One simple advice: don't listen to experts. Don't listen to all of us also. I'll tell you what, the biggest roadblocks to anything new is people who say we have the knowledge in this subject or we have experience in this subject. Ignore both these people.
Okay.
None of us have any knowledge. We have no experience that will help you. You just think fresh. Don't listen to us. Don't listen to anybody. If you listen to experts, you will never do anything new. Because they'll tell you, we've tried this for 20 years, it hasn't worked, don't waste your time doing it. Or they'll say, look, I have the experience, I have the knowledge, don't try it. They will always kill your enthusiasm, they'll always kill your innovation. So the best thing to do is don't go to seminars and listen to people talk. Just do what comes to your mind and do it. It will always work. The more experts you listen to, the more your mind will get conditioned to think in their way. And world doesn't need more experts. World needs more innovators. So just do what you feel is right. Don't listen to anybody.
Okay, thank you very much. My question is to Dr. Prasad sir. I want to ask what I should start investing in and how I should save for emergency funds and all the things.
Oh my God. So, rather, I would like to defer this question. And no, Bharati is saying I should charge for that because that's what I learned nowadays in the consulting world, because there we charge for an hour. But to be more relevant to this forum, invest in yourself. As even you heard loud and clear, invest in your own ambition, invest in your own happiness. The returns will follow. Don't be afraid of anything. And the last but not least, I would say, get out of your comfort zone. If you try to remain in your comfort zone, you will limit everything. Whatever Bharatji said, be open, you won't be able to open. Whatever Nilesh said, that is the way you should get into the sports, you won't be able to do that. Get out of your comfort zone. The moment you see that is, boss, I arrived, you have booked your ticket to become redundant. So get out of your comfort zone, do what you want to do. That's best investment what you can do. The returns will follow automatically.
Thank you, sir.
So final 5 minutes. Keep your questions as short as possible, please.
My question is also to Prasad sir. हम हमेशा सुनते हैं कि like you should follow your passion, do what you love, and then we also hear कि पैसा है तो जिंदगी है, you can't live without money. How should we think about both while we are like planning about our futures and all that?
पैसा है तो सब कुछ है. That's a fact also. You can't be ignorant of that. But again, on a practical level, money is not just all about the actual dollar or the rupee or the whichever currency you say. Money is where that currency is, where you are actually putting your hardcore effort. You should be yourself the mint. You understand what is mint is? जहाँ पे money print होती है, right? So you should be your chalta firta, the printing currency for yourself. And that is nothing but is no other replacement for your hard work. And hard work is not necessary to actually working for 18 hours or something. Do whatever actually strikes your heart and where you can apply your brain and just go openly. Sky is the limit for that.
I think it's very simple. If you follow your passion sincerely, money will come. You don't have to follow money. In Hinduism, we have a saying which says, follow Saraswati and Lakshmi will follow you. Don't go after money. You follow your passion and you'll always get money.
Thank you. Sir, my question is to Nilesh sir. How to build leadership qualities? How to build leadership qualities?
I'll just add to that question, leadership and emotional intelligence, if you can touch upon that.
Very simple. Like I said before, don't be afraid of failure, because that is one step towards risk-taking ability. When you are inclined towards risk-taking ability, your risk assessment become more analytical. When your risk assessment become more analytical, your percentage of failure reduces. That adds to the value of your leadership to drive your team. Because in our organization, we have a practice which we follow. For all our employees, I as a leader allow them to fail twice in what they do. And I take full responsibility of their failure. Because for me, they're taking an effort to succeed. So I should allow them to fail, because that is a good sign for me as a leader to allow him or her to take more risk, calculative risk, for the betterment of their own and the organization. But third is not considered. Because if you fail twice, that means you're not improving. But that is one sign of a leadership, that you allow your team member to be a leader. Empower them. The more you empower, the better results you start getting. The more you put them down, like Bharatji was saying, creatively, innovatively, then he or she is not thinking. So to become a good leader, first you have to be a good listener, but more importantly, you have to assess the ability of somebody who actually has a potential, he or she, then empower that. Then the result follows.
Sir,
The emotional intelligence.
Very simple. Emotional intelligence, see, in sport, you get 11 people to handle as a leader. Everybody comes with different background. Somebody has had a fight in the morning with his wife. You have to handle and take the best out of them on the field. Somebody's family is in the hospital. You have to bring them on the job. How do you do that? You have to find many ways of tackling those situations. Handle with care, handle with sternness, handle with strictness, or put an arm around it. I have played under a lot of leaders with different emotional intelligence. Ravi Shastri, when I made my debut for Mumbai, Ravi was our captain. The first thing he did was he put his arm around my shoulder, said, "तू ही मेरा bowler है, 5 wicket निकाल के देगा." He gave me that confidence, and I was like, भाड़ में जाए कोई भी opposition हो, मैं 5 wicket निकालूंगा. He gave me that confidence. But there was other captains who said they never uttered a word and allowed me to do. तेरे को क्या चाहिए? तू बोल. So you try and work around individuals who are, some of them are emotionally very weak. Put the arm around them. Some of who are very strong, self-driven. All you just need a trigger to just give them a chabi, which we call in cricket and other things. Give them a chabi and they'll do everything for you. You have to find that way. And that's how emotional intelligence also needs to be raised. Understanding the perspective of who you're dealing with.
and sir, as a cricket fan, can I get your autograph or selfie later?
I'll do it after we finish.
I wanted to ask a question to Prasad sir. Means the country faced recession during 91. So our country made economic reforms during that time under Manmohan Singh. So how did our country face the 2020 pandemic recession? Means sir, do you know anything about? I was just wondering.
Again, I'm going back to my 3 R's, and the reason I'm saying this because this entire life cycle is actually spent around these 3 R's. Again, the last third one, which is resilient. And not just 90, I will tell you in the example of 2008 as well, which I referred in my speech, when the entire world was going through the recession, and especially US hit very badly with the subprime lending. Many of the big banks and the big companies were going bankrupt that time. But India remained resilient. The reason is very clear. We as a country, our economy remained absolutely responsible for what we are doing it. And the entire credit goes to, I don't know whether understand his term, regulator. So nothing but, just like how the police are there to regulate the whole law and order, right? So in banking, you would have heard about RBI, right? So RBI is our regulator. So they are responsible, they're like a police to ensure that is all the things done in the banking industry, they've been rightly conducted or not. Like say we have SEBI for stock market, correct? You know that. So our Indian regulators were much, much ahead of time, much, much stronger than any other regulators in the country. They kept ourselves absolutely tight under the vigilance. That's reason number one. In recent COVID time, which you asked, and I had a privilege to work with the PM of that time very closely. So that's the time, not just the resiliency we kept in mind, we ensure that is we become relevant to our population of Bharat. What does that mean? Do something directly which will directly impact and help our entire 140 crores population. So that actual responsibility which government had taken that time, thanks. We had taken the responsibility at our end that entire 140, we are responsible for them. So we ensure that is, be it COVID stimulus package or be it any change in the policy, we made it as a responsible governance, we made it more relevant to the people. and then we ensure that is whatever policy remains, that remains resilient in the whole thing. That's why you would have seen also during those days our all banking system was actually working. So government had made it a point that is banking is absolutely mandatory service which should be on. All banking people and employees were actually doing job physically in their own respective branches. So this whole resiliency, but again, I'm weaving back to my 3 R's. Government made themselves responsible towards people. Government applied the policies which are directly relevant to the people, and we ensured that is we remain resilient continuously in whichever course and whichever pandemic or whatever happens through the things. Thank you.
This last couple of minutes, quick questions, please.
My question is to Nilesh sir. While giving career opportunities, career advices, everyone suggests to have a plan B ready if plan A does not work out. So what is your opinion about it?
Simple. Think about plan B when the plan A fails. Why think about it which is in the larger horizon? Because see, the moment you start thinking about, of course you need to have plan B, plan C as part of your planning, but never ever once think about deviating from plan A, because that's your passion, that's your focus, that's your love, that's your affection. So make it work. Even if it fails, attempt more to make that work, because you will be extremely satisfied when it works. But preparing plan B, plan C is extremely critical for every safety of your own career paths. It's always advisable.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, my question is to Deepa ma'am. I wanted to ask that you chose a very unique profession at that time. So at what age did you know that you wanted to do it, and what inspired you?
Actually, I didn't know I wanted to do it. I had many options. Actually, as I told you, theatre was an option, masters was an option. I wanted to do travel and tourism. I wanted to do mass communication and journalism. And I got admission in UDCT, my father's from there, so I just selected it. So,
And what inspired you?
Inspired me to do what? To select this?
Yes.
Nothing. Actually, I just, as I mentioned to you, I had many 4-5 options. I was excited about doing all. So, and I think I would have also excelled in all, because I just worked like a, what do you say, dog or donkey, whichever. I just work very, very hard, 12 to 14 hours. So I think either one would have worked. I chose science because my father is also from that field. So I guess natural selection.
Thank you, ma'am.
माझा प्रश्न भरत सरांना आहे. सर, अजूनही रिक्षा चालवायला मजा येते का कार?
नाही, रिक्षा चालवली की पैसे मिळतात, कारण त्याला मीटर आहे, गाडीला मीटर नाही आहे.
सर, मीटर बसून घेऊ शकता तुम्ही.
गाडीला नाही बसून घेऊ शकत.
थँक्यू सर.
A round of applause for this question. Amazing, amazing. And we know why this question. वावीकर सर ज्या शाळेत शिकले त्याच शाळेतला विद्यार्थी आहे हा. MH स्कूल मोह विद्यालय. All right. Final question of the day.
Do you prefer theatre or cinema?
Frankly, I prefer advertising the most. Theatre is just a hobby, and cinema is a sub-hobby. So it doesn't matter if I do a film or not. It doesn't matter if I do theatre or not. But advertising is something that I'm passionate about. So I prefer advertising the most.
Thank you.
Can I just add a slightly different twist to what this question has? Theatre and sport do not have retakes. Understand? You don't have retakes. So your planning and preparation is the most critical component than your execution. Where in films and other profession, you will still get your second chance. But what you do there is all live. There is nothing staged. So the more you actually engage into these, that excites you the most.
Except the kind of theatre I do, they have retakes because they're comedy. So even if some actors make a mistake and repeat it, people don't understand that wasn't a part of the thing. They think it's a part of the script.
Sir, we do the same thing. When we drop a catch, we said, इसके वजह से हो गया, हमारा गलती नहीं है.
All right then, thank you. Thank you so much to all the students and of course to all the guest speakers for investing their valuable time today with us. A big round of applause to all four of them. Bharat Dabolkar, Dr. Deepa Bhazekar, Dr. Prasad Pradhan and of course Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni. A standing ovation for all the four guest speakers, the Fab Four of Drushti 2025. We'll be starting the next session at 2 o'clock, but before that, we would like to felicitate our esteemed dignitaries. I would request Dr. Chandrasekhar Vavikar to felicitate Mr. Bharat Dabolkar. Students, please be seated. After the felicitation of the guests, we'll be felicitating all our dear students. So Mr. Bharat Dabolkar getting felicitated by Dr. Chandrasekhar Vavikar. A round of applause for such an entertaining talk. Here. A mic. Can we have a mic for Mr. Bharat Dabolkar, please?
No, I just wanted to ask if I can take it home or do I leave it behind? Because I've had some bad experiences. I did Janta Raza in English. Janta Raza is the biggest Marathi play ever done by Babasaheb Purandare, and I did that in English. So after the 10th show at Azad Maidan, Babasaheb Purandare called me on the stage and said, we are thankful to you for doing this in English. He gave me a Mauli topi and he gave me a sword. I was very happy that he's given me this in front of 10,000 people. But when I was leaving, the chap caught hold of me and said, "Parat dya, आमच्या नाटकातले आहेत ते तुम्ही घेऊन जायचं नाही." I always ask, can I take it?
बरं हे नाटकातलं नाहीये. थँक्यू.
Thank you, Mr. Bharat Dabolkar. It was indeed entertaining to have you. Mr. Milind Ballal presenting his book to Mr. Bharat Dabolkar. Next up, we have Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni. I request Dr. Vaishali Vavikar to felicitate Mr. Nilesh Kulkarni. A huge round of cheer for this former India Test cricketer, Nilesh Kulkarni. I would like to request Dr. Deepa Bhazekar to come up to the stage, and I would like Dr. Gargi Vavikar to felicitate Dr. Deepa Bhazekar. Dr. Deepa Bhazekar, she started the proceedings of this guest session, and it was indeed enlightening to have you. The fourth guest speaker today was Dr. Prasad Pradhan. I request Mr. Milind Ballal to felicitate Dr. Prasad Pradhan. Mr. Milind Ballal will felicitate Dr. Prasad Pradhan. Indeed, a thought-provoking session by Dr. Prasad. And Mr. Nikhil Ballal handing over a book, and this book is named Chhapta Chhapta. It narrates 50 years of Thane Vaibhav's journey from 1975 to 2025, written by Mr. Milind Ballal. And finally, the last felicitation among the dignitaries is of my dearest principal, Mrs. Meera Korde. I would request Mr. Bharat Dabolkar to felicitate Mrs. Meera Korde, chairperson of Saraswati Vidyalaya Prasarak Trust. Thank you. Thank you, Bharat sir. Thank you, Korde madam, for being here. Now the much awaited time, isn't it, students? Time for felicitation of all the schools that have come here. We'll start with Euro School. Can I request students, teachers of Euro School to please come up to the stage, and I would request Dr. Vaishali Vavikar to felicitate Euro School. I request all the dignitaries to please be seated. So Euro School is ready. Some good questions coming up from the students. I hope you enjoyed the session. Thank you for being here. Once again, a big round of applause for all the dignitaries for spending their valuable time with all of us. So Euro School, kindly come up to the stage. Dr. Vaishali Vavikar would like to felicitate you for being a part of Drushti 2025. Enthusiastic participation by the students of Euro School. They asked some interesting questions. Next up, we'll be having Amber International School. I request the students of Amber International School to please come up to the stage. I request Dr. Vaishali Vavikar to be on the stage itself. Amber International School. Euro School students, you can leave from here. You can leave from my left-hand side. All right. You can meet them outside as well. All the students, you can leave from my left-hand side. So Amber International School, again, plenty of questions from these girls to keep the discussion engaging. I request you to come up on the stage. Dr. Vaishali Vavikar would like to felicitate you for your enthusiastic presence and participation for Drushti 2025. A round of applause for Amber International School. Next up, we'll be having Suniti Devi Singhania School. So students, please be ready. Students of Srimati Suniti Devi Singhania School. A huge participation from Amber. I think this is the biggest participation that we have received. Really overwhelming response from this school. Thank you to all the teachers of Amber International School for bringing the students here. So teacher accepting on the behalf of students. Can we have the claps going? It will be for each of us. I think this is the maximum participation from one school. Amazing. Thank you. All the photographs, you will be getting it to all the schools. So no need to have actual mobile phones. We'll be sending the photographs. We'll be sending the videos. So just a humble request. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Amber. And yes, most importantly, don't forget to collect the refreshments. They are eagerly waiting for you outside the auditorium. So while you go, please collect the refreshments. Okay. Suniti Devi Singhania, can we have you on the stage, please? And also, you can feel free to join for the next session, which starts at 2 p.m. Another guests will be awaiting to talk to you. Suniti Devi Singhania School, meanwhile, Dr. Vaishali Vavikar, can we have you felicitate them? Suniti Devi Singhania. Yeah, this is different. Suniti Devi Singhania School being felicitated by Dr. Vaishali Vavikar for their eager participation today in Drushti 2025. Thank you for being there. Yes, friends, keep the claps going. Good one. Next up, we have SVPT Rabodi, my school. Come on, friends. SVPT Rabodi. I request Dr. Vaishali Vavikar to felicitate SVPT Rabodi. Again, a tremendous participation from the school, coming early in the morning. And the first student who came for Drushti 2025 was a student of SVPT Rabodi, sitting quietly in the middle of the auditorium. Some of them you can stand below, some can be adjusted on the stage. After SVPT, we'll be having AK Zoshi School. So students, please be ready, AK Zoshi School. All the photographs and videos will be shared with your school. So don't worry, rest be assured that the photographs will reach you. Again, a tremendous participation from SVPT Rabodi. Thank you, school. AK Zoshi School, can we have all the students and teachers, if any, to collect the felicitation from Dr. Vaishali Vavikar? Dr. Vaishali Vavikar will felicitate the students of AK Joshi School. Students, feel free to collect your refreshments and also feel free to attend the next session that will start at 2 o'clock. We have another exciting set of panelists who will be eager to interact with you. AK Joshi School. After AK Joshi, it will be Srirang Vidyalay. So students of Srirang Vidyalay, please be ready for felicitation. हाँ Huge participation from AK Joshi. Thank you, AK Joshi School. All the students are reminded to collect the refreshments, and also you can be a part of the next session that starts at 2 p.m. Next up, Srirang Vidyalay. Can we have the students, teachers of Srirang Vidyalay? I request Dr. Gargi Vavikar to felicitate Srirang Vidyalay for their energetic presence today. After Srirang Vidyalay, we'll be felicitating Anand Vishwa Gurukul. So students of Anand Vishwa Gurukul, please be ready. So Dr. Gargi Vavikar felicitating the students of Srirang Vidyalay. Thank you once again for being a part of Drushti 2025. So Srirang Vidyalay Marathi medium, please be ready. After this, we'll felicitate Anand Vishwa Gurukul. So this was the English medium, Srirang Vidyalay. Kindly collect your refreshments from outside of the auditorium. Thank you for being a part of Drushti 2025. Srirang Vidyalay Marathi medium. यांचे विद्यार्थी आज मोठ्या प्रमाणात उपस्थित आहेत दृष्टी 2025 साठी. डॉक्टर गार्गी वावीकर यांच्या हस्ते त्यांना सन्मान चिन्ह देण्यात येईल. श्रीरंग विद्यालय मराठी मीडियम. इथे नव्हते 4 आनंद विश्व गुरुकुल एनकेटी सरस्वती सेकंडरी मराठी एमएच. Anand Vishwa Gurukul, please be ready for felicitation. Do we have the students of Anand Vishwa Gurukul here? All right. Next up, NKT School. Students of NKT. I request Dr. Gargi Vavikar to felicitate the students of NKT. After NKT, it will be time to felicitate Saraswati Secondary Marathi School. And finally, we will have MH High School. So Dr. Gargi Vavikar felicitating NKT, the students of NKT School. A gentle reminder to collect the refreshments once again to all the students, teachers and parents. And the second session of Drushti 2025 starts at 2 p.m. We will be having another exciting set of panelists. Saraswati Secondary Marathi School, please. Can we have the students of Saraswati Secondary Marathi School? MH High School. Students of MH High School, please. The same school from where Dr. Vavikar also studied. MH High School. And one of the interesting questions was also asked, I think, by one of your students. कोणता विद्यार्थी होता तो? मस्त प्रश्न विचारलेला भारत दाभोळकर सरांना येतोय. जबरदस्त प्रश्न होता. 2 वाजता आणखी एक सेशन सुरू होणार आहे. तुम्ही थांबू शकता त्या सेशनसाठी सुद्धा. आता रिफ्रेशमेंट्स घेऊन तुम्ही पुन्हा एकदा बसू शकता. 2 ते 6. शिव समर्थ स्कूल, प्लीज बी रेडी. We'll be felicitating you next. Shiv Samartha School. Thank you, Mohavidyalay. Lastly, Shiv Samartha School. I request students and teachers. Shiv Samartha English Medium School. Dr. Gargi Vavikar will felicitate the students and teachers of Shiv Samartha English Medium School. SVPT Godbanda students, Junior College. You were there for the first session? Sure. Thank you. So, will you be attending the second session? 2 to 6? You will be attending all of... Yeah, you will be attending. Okay, thank you. So, you will be felicitated after the session, the second session. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shiv Samartha English Medium School, and thank you to all the schools. Any school remaining by chance? Any of the schools pending for felicitation? All right. No, thank you so much. Thank you once again, and see you soon on the other side of the break at 2 o'clock. Salam.